right, check. Check one. Check. Check 1, 2. There's you.
Here's me. Hello.
There's we.
We.
Nobody messes with Adam Wee. Do you remember that one?
What's that from?
From Family Guy, when Adam West's last 2 letters came off the.
Oh, right.
All right, check. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, let's test our Computadora volume. All right, about a minute and a half then.
All right, could you pass me their roster real quick, please?
Mm-hmm.
Withers.
I guess Dave's good.
That's good.
I mean, haven't heard from him, so.
Indication that either he's good or he's dead.
Yeah. He's writing, so if he's dead, it's really impressive.
So much to do, there's plenty on the farm. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Do. Saturday night, I'd like to raise a little harm. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Do. You want to take a guess?
Who that was?
Yeah.
Was it Jackson Brown?
No, the darker version of him. That's Warren Zevon.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's great, bud. Yeah, that's great. Good story. All right, you ready?
Cool story, bro. Yeah, I'm ready.
The York Revolution is on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Here he swings and hammers it. Watch this one go. It's a game winner.
Revs Baseball on WOYK is brought to you by People's Bank, Wellspan Sports Medicine, Maple Donuts, Broadway Transmission, Flying Feet, Dasher Investment Services, the law offices of Griffith, Strickler, Lerman, Solomus, and Calkins, York Mitsubishi, Heritage Lawn and Landscape Care, York Dental Sleep Therapy, Mad Dash, Pennsylvania Lottery, Neighborhood Family Markets, PSECU, Kona Ice, Smith, Mayer and Little, Commonwealth Connections Academy, Downtown Inc., and United Way of York County.
Swing and a deep drive to right field. Watch this one go. He fires. Game over. Base hit. It's a fair ball. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. He slides. He's in. Revs win it.
Now with today's York Revolution pregame show, here's Will DeBoer.
At People's Bank Park in York, Pennsylvania, it's the York Revolution and the Lancaster Barnstormers in the War of the Roses, presented by PNC Bank. Lancaster comes in leading the season series 3-1. They have a 2-game cushion in the Community Cup. More importantly, the Revs have a 3-game cushion in the standings. York will try and make up ground in both those counts tonight. Hello, everybody. Will DeBoer with you, high over the surface here on what has turned into a picture-perfect Friday night in South Central PA. Nasty all afternoon thunderstorms, rain up to your ankles. It's all been drained right now. The field is in fantastic condition. We still got a few clouds overhead, but they are fading fast. It is 75 degrees on Friday night in June. What more could you ask for? How about a Revs team off to the best start in franchise history, 25-16, coming off of a series win at Bridgeport earlier this week. They took 2 of 3, including a dramatic 9-7 win over the Bluefish, in which York scored 7 runs in the top of the 9th to come back and stun the home side. Meanwhile, they face a Lancaster team that quite simply is the hottest in the Atlantic League. Winners of 4 in a row, coming off of a 3-game sweep of the Long Island Ducks. I'm sure a lot of them are Dutch, but they are the Long Island Ducks. No slouch in the Liberty Division, but the Barnstormers have soared right back into the thick of things in the Freedom Division race. Lancaster comes in at 21-18, tied with Sugar Land, percentage-wise, 3 games back of the York Revolution at 25-16, but leading the Skeeters by virtue of having 1 fewer loss. So this series will be enormous in terms of deciding a potential first half champion in this Freedom Division. A York sweep pretty much eliminates Lancaster from contention. A Barnstormer sweep means we're tied. Starting pitching matchup tonight, Frank Gailey getting his first start of the year for the Revolution. He was a bullpen man for his first 6 appearances, 1-0, a spotless ERA coming off of 3 perfect innings on Monday night against Somerset. He pitched perfectly in the 11th, 12th, and 13th innings on the way to the Revs 6-5 win in the bottom of the 13th inning. But he's getting the start tonight with the departure of Jorge Martinez to the Mexican League. Gailey made 15 starts for the Revolution last year in a season in which he went 5-3 with a 3.21 ERA. As for the Barnstormers, Tanner Peters, the 25-year-old from Simi Valley, California, will get his 3rd start of the year, 5th overall. He is 1-1 with a 5.22 ERA. He is coming off of a loss at the hands of the Sugar Land Skeeters on May 29th, in which he gave up 5 runs, 4 of them earned in 4 innings of work. Peters is familiar to the Revolution. They have seen him before. They lost to him earlier this year at that series at Clipper Magazine Stadium. He pitched 2 scoreless innings in a game that the Revs lost. I believe that was the Monday night game over at Clipper Magazine. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, part 2 of Darrell Henry's interview with Tyrell Harris from yesterday in Bridgeport. Tyrell had quite a bit to say, and you're going to hear the rest of it. After that, the Broadway Transmission Managers Report. Darrell heads to the clubhouse to talk to Mark Mason. All that and much more on this fine radio program, so stick with us on a Friday night edition of the WOYK Revs pregame show.
Get into the ball game with great savings and great weekly specials at your Sure Save neighborhood markets. Use your gold card every time you shop, and you automatically receive savings and rewards. And get incredible deals on the new Best Yet brand products at Saubel's Markets, Wetzel's Market, and also at Nell's Market Fresh Foods. Always a hit and always great savings.
Come on! Colin Cowherd.
The pitcher who gave it up, who should worry more about getting his 2-seamer on the outside part of the plate, Sam Dyson, he wanted to talk about that 1 second of raw human emotion where Jose Bautista, flipped a bat.
Jose needs to calm that down, just kind of respect the game a little more.
You gotta be kidding me.
This is The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
I'm blowing everything up. We're starting over.
Weekdays at 3 on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Join me, Steve Zabin, mornings at 6 on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Welcome back to the WOYK Revs pregame show. Revs and Barnstormers set for edition number 5 of the War of the Roses, presented by PNC Bank. Revs trailing in the season series 3-1. They'll try and make up ground. When we last left the interview with Tyrell Harris yesterday, he had talked about how great his teammates were and some of the wonderful personalities. So right now, part 2 of that 2-part interview with Darrell Henry. This is Tyrell Harris.
Talking with Tyrell Harris, how many different handshakes do you have?
I got about 4 or 5,
Yeah.
but I will have about, I'll say, my goal is to have one with every guy. Like I said, Will, he said his handshakes are past his day. So, one day hopefully we get it on camera. I want all the fans to know me and Wilson will have a handshake before the season's over. So
That's a true goal to shoot for. I know last year you weren't sure of your future. How glad are you that you came back?
Oh, yeah, I'm glad I came back. I told Mace, I said, hey, I know I was going to school to finish up, and I have this ultimate passion for coaching ever since I started doing the youth baseball in Knoxville. So right away, they label us as, independent ball, and they say they say you can't make a career out of it and all this. So I was kind of fighting that, and I wanted to get my degree out of the way to kind of give me some more, something more stable. And, if the coaching job came up, I kind of wanted to weigh the option of that or playing. So I knew if I was playing again, I was coming back to York. They welcomed me with open arms last year. Me and Mace, we had a great relationship. Me and Fletch, not only is he my pitching coach, but he's also an ex-volunteer. And, just the way we look at each other, that plays a factor that, we're the alumni of the same college. And that, gives me a very, warm feel to say, hey, I have a home in York. So I just knew if I was coming back, I was going to be a York Revolution.
How much, the coaching staff, how much do they set the tone? Like, we've had these huge comebacks the last week, and I know one of Mace's sayings is we got them right where we want them. How like when the team's behind, he'll say that. How much does that take the pressure off of everybody and kind of create that loose, relaxed atmosphere?
Yeah, nobody panics. I guess if you watch Mace throughout the game, him and Fletch kind of sit over there, and there's really no panic. I mean, umpires sometimes can make really tough calls, and I've seen 6 or 7 go by before Mace even says anything, and if he says anything, it's not too big. So, just watching how he kind of controls. I mean, we're sometimes more fired up than he is, and just to watch, I guess, the leader of the ship kind of, he rides that, that even kill. He doesn't get all over guys. If guys are struggling, Mason's going to ride you out. He's not the manager, putting the pressure on you to perform. He allows you to be yourself. And, what the best part about it is kind of the guys who come together. He allows us to say, hey, Bouncy, we need you here. He allows Wilson to, come up with that big hit kind of, himself and kind of for the guys. And so when we do go down, I mean, we've been down against Sugar Land at home, and, it seems like at times we're going to lose the game. But, if you watch our guys, we're fired up in the dugout. We lead the league in home runs, obviously, so we can change the outcome of a ball game in one swing, which we have proven several times. And, I think once you just buy into that atmosphere and you feel like as a player, you just don't try to do too much. Just hop on board the ship. It's fun. You don't have to panic because, it's not up to you by yourself to kind of get it done. I mean, like I said, Brian Pounds, we've seen Pounds, have a stretch where he was 10 for 12 with 7 home runs. And so as of right now, maybe he wouldn't be hitting like he wants to, but he'll change a game, as you've seen 2 times, once against Sugar Land and, once against Bridgeport. So we never count Pounds out.
Yeah.
We're sitting in the bullpen saying, more than when he's struggling, we're not saying, oh, Pounds is up. We're saying, hey, this guy's due. So we look at the positive saying, here comes this 3-run homer because, we know Pounds is due, and he delivers. And I think we talk about, feeling each other's energy. So I think Pounds, in a way, we take a little bit of credit for that home run because we say, he feels our energy. We're with him on that pitch. When he got squeezed on that ball inside, we're saying, it's okay, here we go, opportunity. So all our positive vibes are in the bullpen, and wham, he delivers. So, once a team kind of creates that identity, it's kind of hard to beat us.
Yeah. One last thing I've noticed is it seems like nothing's off limits. Everything's fair game, and it's all love. But yes, guys can get on each other, and it's a good time, and that's a big part of it too, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a huge part of it. That what goes on in that locker room that most of the fans don't see is it's probably like 75% of the reason why we play well in the field. I remember when we first got here, and guys are kind of filling each other out, and you just tell the closeness of the team because the jokes are actually pretty harsh jokes. Guys weren't kind of leaning their way in, and I remember one time, to be specific, is Michael Rocket walks by. I've been his teammate all for a couple of weeks, and I give up some 4 or 5 home runs in my first few outings. And one day we rock by, and I'm talking about, hey, I can swing the bat well, and Rocket kind of nonchalant throws this joke at me about, yeah, maybe you can keep the ball, keep the ball in the ballpark or something like that. And you can see all the guys kind of, oh man, like maybe cross the line. They kind of like that. The silence popped up. But the way I responded, I kind of just joked off and said, hey, you're right, man. I said, hey, that's 5 home runs in 8 innings. I said, why don't keep the ball in the ballpark? Your legs are going to be sore here soon. So, we kind of joked back and forth. I know he's my teammate. He'd be the first guy making a diving play for me. So I knew he didn't mean anything serious by it. And, just to be able to, him to feel comfortable to say something that others, probably wouldn't say, for him to have the comfortability to say it and me react the way I did that's why we're winning. That's why we're so loose with each other. And, your teammate's not going to blow you up. Before he gets upset, he's going to say, hey, man, I got your back here. Yeah. So playing a group of guys like that, it's easy to win.
Well, Tyrell, really appreciate a little look inside, and I know the fans are really enjoying watching this team, and they're going to enjoy it when the team gets home this weekend. But it's a lot of fun. It's almost like what's going to happen next, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Just a little thing for the fans is we kind of read online, and I guess we're like 4th in attendance this year, and we understand it was cold, and the fans are why we all choose to come back to York. I mean, they're a big factor. I came here last year, and I was so in awe that we're playing in front of almost 10,000 almost like every night, and so when school ends here pretty soon, you got a first place team here, and the way the minor league works, the winner of the first half is automatically in. So we're in a playoff race, now until the rest of the first half. We're 2 or 3 games up. I know Sugarland's close and Lancaster, so we really invite the fans to come out and kind of create that atmosphere where it's hard to play. We had a tremendous amount of home runs at home, and that's due because our fans it's loud and they're getting on the pitcher and he's a little nervous, and anything can happen. So we tell the fans, hey, it's a playoff race. So if you're ever off on any day when we're home, and please come out and support us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it's just getting good. Tyrell, thank you, and enjoy whatever fun happens with this group tonight. Really appreciate it.
All right, thanks a lot for having me, and let's go Revs. Let's get one more.
Boy, it's just so hard to get anything out of him, isn't it? Tyrell Harris, reliever, anything but an enigma. That was a very, very nice segment right there. We're going to go to one more commercial break. When we come back, the Broadway Transmission Manager's Report. Daryl talks to Mace as we begin to restart the War of the Roses, presented by PNC Bank. All that and much more here on the WOYK Revs pregame show.
Hey, sports fans, great news! You can now listen to Sports Radio 1350 anywhere with the new WOYK mobile apps. Walking the dog? Perfect. Trapped at a Renegade scrapbooking fair? We are 98% glitter-free. Wherever you are, WOYK is with you on the brand new mobile apps. York's only local sports station just went mobile and global. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. First in York, first in sports.
Hi, this is Dan Patrick. Join me weekday mornings at 9 on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Fans, it's time to go inside the clubhouse for the latest on your York Revolution and tonight's matchup. It's time for the Broadway Transmission Manager's Report. Now, here's the manager of the Revs, Mark Mason.
Well, Mace, quick look back at last night, and pretty well-pitched game. What do you think of the job that De La Cruz did with a quality start there? And, obviously you have to give some credit to their pitcher as well for limiting your offense, which has been really, really good consistently here of late.
Well, first of all, their pitcher did a great job. We ended up with 3 hits, and we got them all in 1 inning. So that was our offensive output for the night. But there was a lot of wind blowing across the field, a lot of fly balls that really went nowhere yesterday for both teams pretty much. And, I thought De La did a good job overall. I do think if you go back and look through the hitters, a lot of guys once again on base with 2 outs and scoring with 2 outs. I do think we did see that again, but overall he did a great job. He 8 innings for us, and he gave us a chance to win with 3 earned runs in 7 innings. So I was overall happy with the performance, but still a little bit frustrated with the 2-out thing.
It definitely was a really beneficial night for your bullpen going into this series, wasn't it? With only using Bo, and Calvin did give you that.
Yeah, no, he definitely did, and like I said, overall, I thought he did a really good job, and and only having to use 1 reliever last night, even though I'd like to use 4 if we could win the game, but in only using 1 guy, and we're a little banged up in the pen too, so. That was that was big for us, and it gave us a chance at least for the weekend to be able to run some guys out there.
Well, getting back home tonight, you've got Frank Gailey making this start, and 3 innings in that relief outing on Monday. Any expectation, any hope for him in a starter's role here tonight?
Well, I think Frank will battle. He's the same guy whether he's coming in relief or starting the game. I think that's just his mentality out there. He likes to compete, and he'll be out there as long basically as I let him be out there, because he'd stay out there all night if I let him. But I just good quality competing. I mean, that's what I'm looking for right now. Lancaster swings the bat well. We swing the bats well. This is a hitter's ballpark, so I'm anticipating there's going to be some runs scored here this weekend, and we just have to try to minimize damage as best we can. They're probably thinking the same thing over there. So we're in a hitter's ballpark, and should be a fun weekend.
Yeah, you get Repko off the DL today, and he was like a caged animal there the last couple of days, right? And hope to see that energy on the field tonight. And I see putting him right back in the leadoff spot and moving Marte to the middle.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Jason, he was doing a really good job in the leadoff spot. He was hitting over 300. He was getting on base at a pretty regular clip. He is definitely really excited to be back in the lineup, and I know he has been pent up, for lack of a better word. He's been really coming off the walls around here lately, so it'll be good to get him out of the dugout, to be honest with you, and to get him out on the field and let him use that energy out there.
I've noticed that with him on the DL, he's taken on a lot of the first base coaching, and the other night when you gave Wilson a night off, he was doing that there for multiple innings. Are those veteran guys that seem to enjoy helping in other areas where they can if they're not in the lineup?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, they're both great team guys. We knew that coming in. We talked about that before. And, I mean, they're excited to be at the ballpark, and I think it's a good, it's a good role model lesson for some of the younger guys that, hey, these are former big leaguers. They're out here coaching first base on their days off or when they're not playing, and they just want to be a part of the game, and if they can't do it between the lines, then they want to help any way they can. And I think that's, part of the reason why we're having the success we are right now, too, is you have good leaders like that in the clubhouse, and the guys respect that.
Mace, thanks a lot. Good luck here tonight.
Thank you.
Mark Mason with Darrell Henry on the Broadway Transmission Manager's Report. The Revs have taken the field. They're wearing their special Friday night blue alternate 10th anniversary jerseys, and they're being joined by a few Little Leaguers right now. It was also Chris Dolman night here at Peoples Bank Park, so the York High Alumni Band is going to perform the national anthem momentarily. We just had Chris Dolman throw out the first pitch. The rally crew is wearing York High football jerseys as well. Now here's the anthem. Yes, it does. Our national anthem presented by the York High Alumni Band. Feels like a football game. Well, we got Friday night lights of a different kind here. It's the great American pastime. It is baseball. Here are your starting lineups presented by Flying Feet. First for Butch Hobson's Lancaster Barnstormers, and the notable thing about that is Butch Hobson is making his first appearance as manager since falling ill at Somerset on May 14th, so we certainly welcome him back. Leading off is the center fielder, Travis Witherspoon. Then it's Kevin Aarons at shortstop. Caleb Gindel in right field. Josh Whitaker in left. Josh Bell at third base. Sean Halton DHing. Mike McDade, the first baseman. Charlie Cutler is catching. And Lance Zawadski is your second baseman. He'll try and get runs on the board for Tanner Peters, the right-hander. For Mark Mason's York Revolution bunch, the best team in the Atlantic League and by far the best home team at 16-5 in these friendly confines. Jason Repko, as mentioned, off of the DL tonight. He is leading off and playing left field. Isaiah Tejeda catching. Then it's Andres Perez over at first base. Telvin Nash DHing tonight. Alfredo Marte in right field. Brian Pounds at third base. Michael Rocket at second base. The versatile man that he is, playing yet another position. Josh Wilson at short. James Simmons in center field. And Frank the Tank Gailey, left-handed starter for the first time this year for the Revs after 6 scoreless relief outings up until this point. One lineup note to note of, Joel Guzman is not in the lineup tonight. He had a dental procedure earlier today. We'll call it a root canal. So Mace giving him the day off. He should be fully healthy and expected to play tomorrow. And so now, as Travis Witherspoon steps into the box to resume the War of the Roses presented by PNC Bank, we turn it over to the voice of the Revs. Here is Darrell Henry.
All right, Will, thanks very much. Revs return home tonight where they are 16-5 and the first War of the Roses game here this season. Wearing the brilliant Navy 10th anniversary jerseys. Travis Witherspoon in there. Our Dasher Investment Services first pitch is over for a called strike. Underway on a beautiful night here tonight. Be a 6:32 start on our stadium board. And Gailey from the belt. He'll work from the stretch and a swing and a foul straight back. We have the circle painted in front of the mound from softball. And the shadows right in front of home plate. That ball disappearing right as it gets on the hitter. 82 degrees, our game time temp. Gailey sets, fires, and a swing and a liner to right, and it'll get down on one hop in front of Marte. Witherspoon down in the count, 0-2, opens the game with a sharp single to right. Barnstormers have won 4 straight. They won 6 out of 7 on their homestand that they just finished, and on that homestand batted .319. 7 runs per game, and had 13 home runs in those 7 games.
You sure you're not talking about us there, Darrell?
Very similar numbers. The Revs have done that all season at home. Now here's Kevin Aarons. And Aarons has been white hot as Gailey a snap throw on to first. Barnstormers in their road grays with the red numbers and letters. Aarons 11 ribbies his last 4 games. And he's overtaken the league lead in runs batted in. First pitch is outside for ball 1. He's got 29 RBIs. Joel Guzman, who Will mention not in the lineup tonight, he and Jeremy Barfield each with 28. Aarons tied for 8th in the league in hitting at .311. As Gailey delivers, and that's just outside. And Aarons with a hit in 6 straight at-bats with runners in scoring position. 6 for his last 6. One of many former Blue Jay farmhands on this Lancaster team as Gailey tosses one to first again.
The latest is Casey Hobson, very familiar face. It's Butch's son. Blue Jays released him last year from New Hampshire, so now he's here.
2-0 to Aarons, and that's right there for a strike. Our plate ump tonight, for the first time, we see David Snyder. Dane Ratajski at first base. Brian DeBrouwer is the umpire at third. Witherspoon 5 for 7 in steals. Dre will hold him over there at first. 2-1 is swung on, skied to right. Marte drifting toward the line. He's camped under it. Now back a step to his right, and he's got it. Aarons retired on the lazy fly ball to right, and there's one away. Gailey's most recent outing, the 3 perfect innings in relief, the 11th, 12th, and 13th in the Memorial Day win over Somerset. He's 1-0. And in 6 outings, 7 shutout innings, just 4 hits, 2 walks, 5 Ks. Here is Caleb Gindel. Lefty on lefty matchup. First pitch is a fastball. It's a called strike. Gindel 3rd in the league in hitting at .342. He's 3 home runs, 23 knocked in. Gailey last year became a starter with the Revs really for the first time in his career as he fires one over to first and Witherspoon dives back. Last season 5-3 with a .320 ERA for the Revs, 20 outings, 15 starts. And really the most consistent starter in the second half. He deals, and a comebacker just over his glove, but Wilson's got it. He'll tag Witherspoon and throws to first for the double play. He had to cut across second to the other side, and rather than going back with the feet to touch second, he was able to get the tag on the speedy runner and make the throw. 6-3 double play. No runs, one hit, nobody left. At the end of a half, it's the Barnstormers nothing, and the Revs coming up.
What's up, y'all? This is the Dan Patrick Show.
And you're listening to the best.
Okay. Mattingly and the Dodgers realized it wasn't working out. Nobody wants to say somebody was fired. Nobody wants to say somebody was resigned. Now, I know it's semantics here. Mattingly's gone and the Dodgers move on. I do think it's best for both because I think with new management, they want their guy. They want a sabermetrics, an analytics guy. Mattingly was not that guy.
Dan Patrick.
Don't be a hater.
Mornings at 9 on Sports Radio 1350 WOIK.
Come on! Colin Cowherd.
There's a lot of should-dos in life and should-haves. Should brush your teeth every day. Should treat people like you want to be treated. Those are shoulds. Then there's have-tos. You have to know how to fly a plane, and you have to know the rules if you're an NFL official. And last night, those officials did not know the rules. And it's going to get Jim Caldwell canned.
This is The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Weekdays at 3 on Sports Radio 1350 WOIK.
Hey, sports fans, great news! You can now listen to Sports Radio 1350 anywhere with the new WOYK mobile apps. Gone shopping with the wife? No problem. Tongue stuck to a flagpole? Pass the time after you've called the fire department. Wherever you are, WOYK is with you on the brand new mobile apps. York's only local sports station just went mobile and global. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. First in York, first in sports.
Your teams all the time. York's only place for local sports. Sports Radio 1350 WOIK.
No score, bottom of the first. Revs coming to bat against Lancaster righty Tanner Peters, who makes the start tonight. 1-1 with a 5.23 ERA in 2 starts and 2 relief outings. 10 1/3 innings, 11 hits, 4 walks, 8 Ks. And the man who will get it started tonight, Jason Repko, is back in the lineup, activated from the DL today. First pitch of the night from Peters is over for a strike. Repko just out of the top 10 in the league in hitting. He's 11th at 308. Pitch is swung on, ripped at second though on one hop. Zawadzki's got it. He'll throw to first, and there's one away. We did not see Zawadzki in Lancaster. He was hurt to start the year, and their longtime shortstop playing at second tonight. Right there to spear that sharp one-hopper. Good to see Repko hit it hard though, as he gets high fives in the dugout for that swing. And here's Isaiah Tejeda. The top 2 in the York lineup tonight. Repko 11th in hitting. Here's Tejeda, who's 4th at 327. And he'll get the start behind the plate tonight. And on this evening, as Peters deals and fires a strike inside corner, he is the only one of the 3 catchers in tonight's lineup. Revs have been using Keith Castillo DHing here this past week. Here's the 0-1. And he slices one toward the corner in right field. It carries and lands fair and bounces up against the fence. And Tejeda heading for 2. He'll slide in ahead of the throw from Gindel. A double down into the corner in right. They were playing him off the line, and he had plenty of room to drop that one in. And the Revs with a first inning threat on the 2-base hit.
Well, it's good to see Tejeda getting something going again. He's only batting .231 in his last 10 games. A bit of a slump for a man who was so hot for much of May. If he can respond in order and drop in teardrop doubles like that to the right field corner, he'll go a long way to getting himself restarted.
Well, now Andres Perez will stand in. And Dre has really heated up. Runner at second, 1 out First pitch is a fastball strike at 90 on the outside corner. Perez, a 7-game hitting streak, hitting .414. RBI double last night for their only run and one of their only 3 hits. And in that series in Bridgeport, 6 for 12 with a homer and drove in 5. At least one in each game. Pitch to him. And that's high, a changeup from Peters.
And at the exact right time, he's back batting third, which is where he spent most of the first month of the season before Joel Guzman took over that position. But Guzman not playing today, so Dre's going to get another audition in the 3-hole.
Tejeda, short lead from second. And the 1-1, that's up high. Tried another changeup. Peters a loss in his last start, 5-3 against Sugar Land on Sunday. 4 innings, 5 runs, 4 earned. He got a relief win against York back in mid-May in Lancaster. 2 innings, no runs. Now the right-hander stretches. And the 2-1, and that's down and away. Hitters count for Dre with not only Repko back in the lineup tonight, but Talvin Nash as well. He's on deck after missing 2 games. Peters taking Brian Woodall's spot in the rotation. Woodall left for Taiwan right after basically shoving it to the Revs when we were in Lancaster a couple weeks ago.
I can definitely say he's one man who will not be missed in this series, at least from our perspective.
3-1, and a swing and a miss. Peters went off speed on 3-1. Dre clearly looking for a fastball there. Peters, a former A's farmhand, 5 years in their system. And a good control pitcher, about 2 walks per 9 in his career. 3-2, and a swing and a foul tip off the glove of Cutler. Couldn't tell initially from here, but he was not able to hang on, and Perez still with life. Revs here at home, 16-5. Batting at .314 as a team, 6.5 runs per game. And they've basically continued that on the road the first 2 games in Bridgeport, but were tamed last night. Well, Peters ready, a glance back, and the second baseman Zawadzki cuts in. Tejeda dives back ahead of the throw.
Well, this is what the really good teams do, Darryl. They play about .500 on the road, so they're 9-11 right now, and they just absolutely beat the snot out of anyone who comes into their home territory. And they have done that.
They've bludgeoned the opponents at times.
Of those 5 losses, I think only one of them was a true blowout.
Another 3-2, and up and in. Perez will take ball 4. Now the Revs with 2 on and 1 out here in the first. And Talvin Nash, who missed the last 2 games, some leg soreness after a gruesome stretch at first base for a throw the other night. He said the dirt was soft and his foot kept going, which is a shame. It didn't need to happen to him, but only missing 2 games and back in there. League leader in home runs with 11, 4 more than anybody else. 294 average. He had a 10-game hitting streak snapped 2 nights ago in the game that he exited. And the first offering is up high for ball 1. I guess technically 3 nights ago. He missed the last 2 games. But like many on this team, this is his favorite place to hit. Right here in this batter's box.
No doubt, and he's due for one right now. He's been stuck on 11 for about a week.
The 1-0. Fastball just missed away. Good eye from Nash. Long look from the plate on David Snyder, who did not get baited into it. And it's a 2-0 count for the big man. No score here in the first inning. Revs back in the friendly confines tonight. Nash trying to put him in front. The pitch swings and winds one foul well out in front. And out toward Arch Street Eats and left. the Revs win this series this weekend and take at least 2 out of the 3, they'll have their 100th win against Lancaster. They just picked up their 100th against Bridgeport on Wednesday, their most against any opponent. Next is Lancaster, 98 wins against their War of the Roses rivals. Here's the 2-1, and that missed low. So again, the heart of the order forces Peters to fall behind, and another beneficial count for a Revs batter to work with. 3-1 on Nash, with 2 men on base in front of him. I guess we ought to do that home run read at some point, shouldn't we?
Yeah, maybe after this pitch.
Is Peters ready with it? The 3-1, and a swing and a miss.
He's got the right idea.
Yeah. And on that count, you want to see him cut loose. You don't want to see a timid swing from him, which you'll rarely get anyway. 3-2. Peters to the plate, and a swing and a miss. He went down low and came back to get him. 2 away. And our Heritage Lawn and Landscape Care home run contest tonight. Tyler McKim is our contestant. Good luck to Tyler. If a Revs player goes yard, you win a prize pack courtesy of the Revs and Heritage Lawn and Landscape Care. Here's Alfredo Marte, who had led off each of his first 6 games. He hits 5th tonight, batting at .286 with a home run and 3 driven in. 2 on, 2 out, no score in the first. First pitch curve breaks down low.
Marte endeared himself to the fans here the last home series against Somerset. His first 2 games as a York Rev, leadoff doubles.
I have mail.
All right.
This is the 1-0. And he swings and pops it up into the bright blue sky. The first baseman, McDade, tiptoes across the line in foul ground and makes the catch. So the Revs threaten but do not score in the first. No runs on 1 hit and 2 left. We go to the second tonight. It's 0-0.
Broadway Transmission? I don't know how they do it.
We've been in business for 60 years at the same location.
I don't know how they do it.
It's our long-term nationwide warranties.
Oh, and don't forget our online appointment scheduling.
I still don't know how they do it.
They toted my van at no cost with my repair.
It's our ATRA certified technicians. Don't forget the good-looking genius in the office.
Come on, man. I know they help me with financing. Still, with my bad credit, I don't know how they do it.
I did my research and felt comfortable that Broadway is a AAA approved specialty repair shop. I showed my AAA card and saved some hard-earned cash.
I was happy to get a $100 rebate in the mail after the job was done.
I sure don't know how they do it, but I do know they get it done, and they get it done right.
Broadway Transmission. We'll get your shift together and back on the road fast. Check us out on the web at BroadwayTrans.com or stop in and see how it's done.
Hey Revs fans, want to get in the game? You can throw out an honorary first pitch this season by bringing a group to People's Bank Park. Select groups who reserve tickets in the month of May will receive a first pitch courtesy of Bell Socialization Services with support from Adhesives Research. For information, call Reed Gunderson at 717-801-4498. Celebrating its 50th anniversary this year, Bell provides housing supports and living skills training to more than 1,400 people every year here in South Central PA through its mental health, intellectual disability, and homeless service programs. Bell Socialization Services, empowering lives every day.
All about local sports. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
No score here in War of the Roses, game number 1 of 10 in our park here this season as we head to the second inning. Series presented by PNC Bank. Josh Whitaker, Lancaster's cleanup man, will lead things off. And Gailey's first pitch of the second inning tails just off the plate away. He tilts his head looking in, thinking that should have been close enough perhaps. Whitaker hitting at .284, 5 home runs. 1-0 offering is jacked. Left center field. Repko bet he looks. It is gone. And Josh Whitaker with home run number 6 of his season as the Barnstormers jump in front 1-0 here in the second inning. First run given up by Frank Gailey all season. And Whitaker, the homer, the Barnstormers 14th in their last 8 games. Tyler McKim, I'm sorry, you do not win for that home run. That's not the one we wanted to see.
No. Do I win?
Well, I mean, you can always stick your hand in the cookie jar, I guess. You know where it is. Here's Josh Bell, who swings and sends one deep the other way and right, but this will be foul.
You didn't say anything about cookies, Daryl.
Well, you're right.
Have you been holding out on me?
No, that was just a bad metaphor that got your antennae up. Here's the 0-1. And a curveball. That bends in for a strike. Bell is our K-man tonight. Yeah, I don't want to give the fans the wrong idea. Where's our cookies? Bell's been hot. Here's the 0-2. And he grounds it to third. Got jammed. He hits it right to Pounds. Up cleanly, and he'll throw to first. One away here in the top of the second.
Pounds getting over to Dre, who was back playing the position that netted him a slot on last year's red, white, and blue all-defense team in the Atlantic League. Since Telvin Nash showed up, he's been the primary first baseman, and Perez has been either at second base or DHing for the most part.
It's pretty impressive. It's a position that he really had not played much of, and he moved there last year and got the award. Here's Sean Halton, and Gailey missing out away on him. Halton DHing tonight, 16 games played since returning from Mexico where he started the year. He's hitting .300 on the nose with 4 homers already. Next one is a call. Never mind. It's the last time I assume. That's called down and away. I thought that was a gimme strike, and Gailey did not get it. 2-0. I'll try to not be so quick as Halton asks for time and backs out. Preseason signing with Lancaster, but did start the year south of the border. 2-0 pitch. He swings and fouls it back against the screen. Gailey made his Revs debut last year when the team was in Lancaster, and then made his season debut this year when we were in Lancaster a couple of weeks back. Remember last year these teams played 28 times. Pitch to Halton, a changeup that tails away. And Gailey slips behind 3-1.
Playing enough that the war sort of descended into a slap fight of the Roses.
We had so many games early in the year packed into the schedule. 3-1 is swung on and missed. It's a little strange that we're into June and this is their first visit, but back to the balanced schedule of 20 games against each opponent, and I do much prefer that. Halton will ask for time and back out.
Of course, the War of the Roses features the special caps that the teams will wear. York, the silhouette of the white rose on the cap, the red rose for Lancaster.
Payoff pitch, and it missed outside. Ball 4 on Halton. So the one-out base runner here in the second. That'll bring on Mike McDade. McDade, a 10-game hitting streak on which he's hit .350, and things turned around for him after a very slow start. He got a new lens prescription. He does have some eyewear. Overall, he's up to .273. Switch hitter bats right and waves and misses on the first offering from Gailey. I'm only seeing the back of his helmet, but I think I did notice some sports specs, and he does put his hands up against those glasses. DJ Boston coaching at third, Butch Hobson managing, but not in the coach's box. Pitch here is launched in the air and left. Repko cruising toward the line and into the corner, and he's got room, and in foul territory makes the catch. He stepped over the line and put it away. And that's out number 2 here in the top of the second. 1-0 Lancaster on the Josh Whitaker home run that led off the inning. And here's Charlie Cutler with a runner on and 2 outs. Another lefty-lefty matchup for Gailey.
Well, Charlie got hits in each of the 3 games against Long Island. All these Barnstormers hitters are either hot or heating up. Hitting streaks 5 games, 4, 3, 4, the 10 we just saw.
Runner goes, first pitch, it's inside, and Tejeda's throwdown will be a little late. Sean Halton a good jump, and he steals second. Well, runner in scoring position. Cutler at 299 overall with the bat. On the stretch, 1-0, and that's down and away. Feels like Gailey's had to work a bit this inning, but only at 24 pitches, had a quick first. His longest outing thus far, those 3 innings in relief on Monday night, as time is asked for. And the spot in the rotation opening with Jorge's departure to Mexico City. The 2-0, and a swing and a foul back. That'll be on the roof. On roof.
On roof, yes. Well, the thing here with Gailey is even if he's expected to go multiple innings the same way he did against Somerset on Monday, it's a whole different ballgame because he's actually expected to go those innings. You know, it was a pleasant surprise when he went 3 innings and didn't give up a hit or any sort of base runner. Now he's expected to do that, so he's got that on his mind as he makes all these pitches.
The 2-1, and that misses down and away. Mentioned last year in the second half, he was basically the ace of the staff. Maybe his best outing was in a game at Long Island where he struck out 10 in 7 scoreless innings, only 3 hits. He was dominant at times last year and overall put together a very good season. Fires home, and that missed inside. And Gailey looking in with his hands out to his side. He's beginning to get perturbed on a close one in that he didn't get, and at least I thought maybe they would ask about a check swing, but they didn't ask about that. It's ball 4. The second walk of the inning, and it continues with 2 men on for Lance Zawadzki. The game last night in Bridgeport, neither team issued a walk, and it was done in 2 hours and 11 minutes. Here's Zawadzki. First pitch.
I'm not tipping you.
Is over for a strike, a breaking ball. Eric Menzer is biding the time by cleaning. He's spraying the front of our windowsill. Appreciate that. But no tip from Will. Gailey set at the belt. 0-1. And a swing and a miss. Good curveball. And he can certainly use that effectively on left-hand hitters. Zawadzki, just his 4th game since coming back from a preseason injury. He's 2 for 10 at the plate. Does have a home run already. 3 driven in 3 games. Here's the stretch and the 0-2. And a bouncing ball right side. 2 hops to Rocket from second and a short toss on to first to end the inning. Gailey not trying to waste a pitch on 0-2, but he gets Zawadzki to bounce out softly. 1 run on the Whitaker homer, 1 hit, and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the second. It is 1-0 Lancaster.
It's the angles, the ball skills, the corner kicks. It's knowing how to shield a defender off the ball. It's knowing how to make a wall pass. It's knowing how to curl the ball, how to chip it, how to trap it, how to launch it, how to finish it. It's soccer, and nobody knows that better than Flying Feet sports shoes. Flying Feet. Suit up for soccer at Flying Feet, where players new to the game find everything they need, and collegiate-level players find all that and more. Soccer shoes for men, women, and children from the names that know the game. Adidas, Diadora, Lotto, and Nike. Players choose Flying Feet to get the right shoe at the right price, plus a huge selection of soccer socks, soccer shorts, shin guards, and sports bags. Even referees get the nod at Flying Feet, where refs come for all their gear. Individual players, entire teams, if it's soccer, it's Flying Feet Sports Shoes, the sportswear specialty store without specialty store prices. Flying Feet. 1511 Mount Rose Avenue, just off exit 18 of I-83, next to Battery Warehouse.
Hi, this is Tom Dasher, President of Tom Dasher Investment Services. I specialize in retirement planning and strategies to meet individual personal goals. Whether you are looking for wealth accumulation or to maximize your retirement income. Oh heck, this is sounding just like another commercial. Hey listen, it's this simple. We use risk-free investment vehicles, whether you are looking to still build wealth accumulation or you want retirement income or a combination of both. It is all about getting your money parked in the place that will benefit you the most. If you want to do that, call me. My office number is 246-3879 or my mobile is 487-2096 or contact me at my new website at tomdasher.com.
For local sports on your smartphone, search WOIK at the App Store.
Why don't you get your shine on, Will?
I got my shine on, Dell, every day. You know that.
Yes, I do. 1-0, Lancaster leads as we go to the bottom of the second inning. And Brian Pounds will lead things off. His first home appearance since that dramatic home run Tuesday night. First pitch from Peters is just high for ball one. Pounds at .236 with 4 home runs. Tuesday was his second that he hit in the team's final at bat to finish a big comeback. 1-0 offering, that's down low. His 22 RBIs will be followed by Rocket and Wilson here in the second inning. Peters a 19 pitch first. He was behind on at least 2 hitters as he misses just inside. He's behind on Pounds to start this inning, 3-0. I mentioned he is known as a control guy. 3-0 offering, and that's right down the chute for a strike. Revs lost 3 out of 4 in Lancaster in mid-May. Pitch to Pounds, and that's in the dirt. Leadoff walk. So man on right away. We'll pause here for station identification on Revolution Radio.
First in York, first in sports. Your only local sports station. The new Sports Radio 1350, WOIK, York, Pennsylvania.
Leadoff man on here in the home second. Michael Rocket digs in. And he squares early. Pitch from Peters. He pulls it back and watches a strike. Last night, Rocket attempting to bunt and was unable to get it down, and then he had a swinging bunt for an infield hit, but his bunt game has really come on. Shear has swung on and missed, a fastball. So maybe just a dupe to put it in their minds on that first pitch. He was up there hacking there. Down 0-2 now. And Pounds draws a throw a little high, but McDade handles it easily. Rocket overall at .252 with 1 homer, 13 batted in. Went 5 for 13 in that series in Bridgeport. There's the 0-2, and that misses high and away. Peters wasting that one. Did you catch any of the softball?
I did not.
No? You were very busy.
Rather busy.
You got a haircut, too.
I got a haircut.
Will with the good hair.
Oh, thank you. That's sort of redundant.
Pitch here is popped up. Foul ground, and this will make it behind the York dugout and into the stands.
Yep, hard at work recording a bunch of mobile app promos.
That you were.
Each one of them a little more stupid than the next.
And that's what we're going for.
Yep. Good old-fashioned fun.
Getting stupid on WOYK. Another 1-2. And a breaking ball down. Cutler to his knees to block it. 1-0. Lancaster on top. On the Josh Whitaker home run. Again, the circle right in front of the mound from where the softball pitchers stood. 2-2, and Rocket fouls this one back onto the roof. And in softball, they say in the circle rather than on the mound. On mound.
Yeah, I don't think they even say that. To anyone who didn't know that there was a softball game here, they would have thought, oh, so that's where the aliens came yesterday, huh?
Yeah. It's their landing spot. Pitch to Rocket, a swing and a pop-up foul, and this will also make its way back. It's his third two-strike foul. And having a nice battle here. This has turned into a beautiful night. We were concerned. Well, I don't know about we. You must always have faith. It's another 2-2. And a swing and a miss. Got him on the fastball. Some may have been concerned looking at the forecast.
It was concerning for a while, but it all blew over very quickly.
And there's like no humidity here tonight either. Here's Josh Wilson with 1 on and 1 out. Wilson, an 8-game hitting streak snapped last night. Joel lost a 9-gamer as well. The Revs with only 3 hits, which tied a season low. And they had all 3 in 1 inning. The other 8 were 1-2-3s. But looking to bounce back tonight. First pitch to Wilson is inside as he shifts back. Overall at 257. 3 home runs, 9 driven in. Batted .324 on that 8-game streak.
And returning to the scene of the crime of his walk-off single in the bottom of the 13th on Monday.
Now the stretch. And a long pause. Wilson will ask for time. That's his first climb into that batter's box since Monday night.
You can always tell the former major leaguers because the instant I stepped onto the field to interview him, you know, he saw me and he came over and think, okay, I gotta knock this out.
Yes, he's got the idea. 1-0 pitch. He swings, grounds it toward the hole. Diving knockdown at third by Bell, but he won't have a play. Infield hit for Josh Wilson. And the Revs with their second hit. They've got 2 on with 1 out. Maybe starting a new hitting streak. It looked like it might be destined for the hole, and Bell laid out to get a glove on it, but could only knock it down. And no chance to make any further play.
And that ground ball hit with such force by Wilson, the only thing Bell can do is knock it down. If that one's going a bit slower, he's probably able to glove it.
Here's James Simmons with 2 on and 1 out. Simmons a night off last night. And the pitch from Peters, a swing and a miss. A slider to start him. It's a couple of times we've seen him start hitters off speed. He's willing to do that. Try to stay unpredictable. Simmons at 228 overall. Couple of bombs, 13 knocked in. Revs down 1-0 here in the second. And the pitch swings and hits one in the air toward the corner and right, but foul. This will land up on the picnic landing, if you will, right next to a lady who was she thought she had the whole picnic area in front of her, just walking along, minding her business. Ball bounced right by. Didn't phase her, though. Here's the stretch. And Peters with the 0-2. Swing and a miss. He went back to the slider down low and got Simmons swinging. He's got his third strikeout already tonight. 2 this inning. That's 2 down. And back to the top of the order, and Jason Repko. Revs started this inning with a walk to Pounds, and then Wilson the 1-out infield hit. And trying to cash in. They've had a runner in scoring position with less than 2 outs now in each of the first 2 innings. And we're not able to get a run home in the first. Repko will try to do it here with 2 outs in the second. And the pitch from Peters is upstairs. He hit it hard, but on 1 hop at second for a ground out in the first inning. Repko 5th in the league in on-base percentage, as he is reactivated here today. Peters ready. The 1-0. And there's a fastball for a strike.
And even without having played for the last 2 weeks, he's still tied for second in hit by pitches. 5 times.
He's a guy that he is always going to try to get back in as quickly as possible. So Mace and Chong, they have to make sure that he's totally ready. A 1-1 and a fastball and an outside strike call on him. That drew a look back and puts him in a 1-2 hole.
I mean, his bat's been ready for the whole 2 weeks there. He was out cranking bombs over Arch Street in batting practice last week. It was just the legs that weren't cooperating.
Got some sprint work in Bridgeport. Said he felt great. He could not wait. There's the 1-2 and a slider that's down in the dirt. Mace said he couldn't wait to get him out of the dugout and back on the field.
Yeah, I can sort of see that.
Probably doesn't know what to do with himself when he's not in. I would often see him standing next to the coaches, and then he did spend a lot of those innings coaching first base. The 2-2 swung on, line foul into the picnic. No, not quite. Just short of it down the right field side. Stays alive at 2-2. His hamstring soreness that had him out. He had only played once since May 18th when he originally felt it in Lancaster, and then played half a game the following week at home and came out again. Peters the pitch, and he spoils it, fouls it against the net. It was down and away, but protecting brilliantly there with 2 strikes. And Peters all of a sudden is at 43 pitches here in the first 2 innings. Revs trail 1-0. And the righty into his stretch. And again to the plate. And it's in the dirt. A full count. And Repko having a fine at bat. When you talk to hitters, that's the first thing they say they want to do is go up there and have quality at bats. Give themselves a chance to have success in a game where you fail way more often than not. And both runners will have the head start here since he's worked at full. Here's the stretch from the righty. And the 3-2, and he swings and loops one into right center for a hit. Pounds around third to score the tying run. Wilson goes to third, and Jason Repko, welcome back to the lineup. He flares an RBI single into right center and ties it up. A base hit in his second at-bat back. What an at-bat that was. Worked it full, fouled him off, and then got one he could handle and just served it over second.
Now that's a veteran's at bat right there. A lot of patience, a lot of skill, not trying to force anything, fouling it off, spoiling it when he needs to. And he just blooped single over Zawadzki's head over in second base. All you got to do, you don't need the home run.
Here's Isaiah Tejeda, who doubled in his first at bat. Runners at the corners and a curveball taken for a strike.
Oh, I know Tejeda's going to want a home run against a team that, technically he did hit his first home run against. That was in Lancaster. Umpires ruled it a double. They said it hit off of the wall, not off of the railing, which it actually did. To their credit, they apologize, but Tejeda does have one fewer home run than he is afforded in his statistics.
Here's the 0-1. Repko fakes going, and Tejeda rips a base hit through the left side into left field. Wilson in to score, and the Revs take the lead 2-1 here in the bottom of the second. And in tonight's lineup, the men with the two highest averages are 1 and 2 in the order, and they both come through with 2-out RBI hits. Ground ball single into left. And that's why leadoff walks are killers. It was an infield hit and kind of a bloop from Repko, which produced a run. And now a sharp grounder from Tejeda, and that's 2 runs. Here's Andres Perez with first and second. And Peters with the pitch, a fastball and a called strike. And the fans getting on David Snyder. Perez slumped his shoulders. That's about the most reaction that you'll see from him, but knowing him, I could tell he didn't like that. Tejeda now 2 for 2 tonight, by the way. Perez walked in the first. And here's the 0-1. And a fastball, that's even further out. And called a strike. And puts Dre in an 0-2 hole. I think the first one they actually thought was low. And now down in the count. And Peters' next pitch will be his 50th in the first 2 innings. There's the 0-2. And that missed outside. Now the Revs, one reason for their success at home, they have had outstanding approaches and at-bats consistently in this park, and one of the byproducts of that is forcing opposing pitchers into very high pitch counts. A 1-2, and a slider snaps down into the dirt. And of course, 2 nights ago, Dre went yard in the win. 57th home run with York, 2 away from tying Nowak. It's the next major milestone for him. Revs a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the second. The stretch from Peters. I'll look back at Repko, and Dre will ask for time, tired of waiting.
And that's the only thing that he's tired about here. He's 32 years old. He's shown no signs of slowing down. He could end up putting all those hitting records there out of reach, the same way Corey Thurman put all the pitching records out of reach, just by sheer longevity.
Now the 2-2, and he grounds it to second base. This one at Zawadzki. He fields, sidearms it over to first to end the inning. But the Revs, with a pair of 2-out runs, they get it done on 3 base hits and 2 runners left. We go to the third tonight. It's York 2, Lancaster 1.
The more we help the ones in need, the more progress our community will make.
By focusing on quality education, income opportunities, and basic health care,
all of York County can have access to the building blocks of a good quality of life.
Together we can load the bases for our community
and hit a home run.
Give generously to the 2016 United Way Community Fund.
Find out more and give now at unitedway-york.org.
Money and business are essential to the strength of a community. So is cheering and celebration and music and fun. That's why York Revolution games, concerts, youth sports, special events, and more happen at a place called People's Bank Park. People's Bank has been serving York County for more than 150 years. Always cheering, always celebrating, always committed to the things that make York County great. And to you having a great time at People's Bank Park. People's Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Ross Brothers Barbecue is serving up the hits every Saturday night this season at People's Bank Park. Stop by Arch Street Eats on the third base corner and load up on delicious, fresh-made local barbecue. All of Ross' sauces and sides are made from scratch daily. All meats are smoked for an authentic barbecue done right. Ross Brothers also offers drive-through, dine-in, and carry-out from the restaurant at 3096 Carlisle Road in Dover, as well as delivery and full-service catering. Ross Brothers can cater any sized event from fundraisers to graduation parties to weddings. Ross Brothers Barbecue every Saturday night at People's Bank Park.
Your teams all the time. York's only place for local sports. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Now the Revs answer right back and score twice to take a 2-1 lead as we start the third. Darrell Henry along with Will DeBoer here from People's Bank Park tonight. And the top of the order for Lancaster, beginning with Travis Witherspoon, who on a 2-strike pitch opened the game with a single to right. Gailey a scoreless first, though, got a double play to end the first inning. 1 run in the second, but York answered with 2. First pitch of the third, Witherspoon shortens but takes a strike. Revs have won 8 of their last 10 overall. A pair of 4-game winning streaks. One of those snapped last night. Next one, a breaking ball and a good one. It hooks right in for strike 2. Gailey at 30 pitches through his first 2 innings. Peters is at 52. Pitch here is swung on and popped foul into the stands on the first base side.
Yeah, for Gailey, the efficiency is going to be the most important thing to decide how far he goes into this game. Reliever, becoming a starter for the first time this year. How many does he have in him?
Another 0-2. And a swing and a miss. Gailey got him on the changeup. Got him to reach away, and there's 1 down. On our WellSpan Sports Medicine injury report tonight, Joel Guzman out of the lineup for a dental procedure, but expected back tomorrow. Jason Repko off the DL today with the hamstring soreness. He looks good in there tonight. And Talvin Nash returning from that nasty stretch at first base 3 nights ago. He's DHing. Here's Kevin Aarons as Gailey misses outside for ball 1 to the 2-hole hitter.
And meanwhile, while Joel has his dental surgery here, Josh Lyman's going to handle the press briefings.
Here's a swing and a roller to short. Wilson shifts up the middle, gets in front, and a quick release right on to first. Didn't really have an opportunity to charge that softly hit ball since he had to go so far left. But a quick release and got Aaron still by maybe 2 steps. Josh Wilson's so smooth at short. And the other thing, you can tell he always knows who's running. He knows how much time he has. Obviously, a big league shortstop. Here's Caleb Gindel, who hit into the double play in the first inning. First pitch from Gailey, he dropped down a bit and missed high. By the way, nobody on the DL for Lancaster. It's your WellSpan Sports Medicine injury report.
Or lack thereof report.
And the next one is fouled into the netting. 1-1 on Gindel. Short, stocky, powerful left-hand hitter. He's listed at 5'7", 210. I'm not sure that he's not more than that. Pitch here is smacked on the ground to first, but Dre's got it right near the line. He'll take it to the bag himself. And a 1-2-3 third inning. We go to the bottom half of the third tonight. Revs lead the Barnstormers 2-1.
Take it from me, guys. You want to make life happier? Your wife wants a nicer lawn. The kind of lawn you see on Home and Gardens and Martha Stewart. Here's a hint. You're not alone. Call your pals at Heritage Lawn and Landscape Care. They've got a way with lush lawns that the ladies like. And as you know, happy wifey, happy hubby. Winky face. Heritage Lawn and Landscape Care. World-class care right in your backyard. 717-292-9994.
Wednesdays are the worst. I've got to get the kids to school in time, to get to work, then it's just one long day of meetings. But hey, at least I don't have to worry about making dinner.
Kids eat free with People's Bank. Save money at every Wednesday home game.
So now when the Revs are in town, I just pull into a People's Bank, pick up that week's coupon, and dinner is done. Revolution Wednesdays? Awesome. Revolution!
Thanks to People's Bank, kids eat free at every Wednesday home game. No need to be a People's Bank customer. Just pick up your coupon at any People's Bank branch and do dinner at People's Bank Park. One coupon per child per game.
Come on! Colin Cowherd.
There's a lot of should-dos in life and should-haves. Should brush your teeth every day. Should treat people like you want to be treated. Those are shoulds. Then there's have-tos. You have to know how to fly a plane, and you have to know the rules if you're an NFL official. And last night, those officials did not know the rules. And it's going to get Jim Caldwell canned.
This is The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Weekdays at 3 on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. York Sports on your mobile device or online at WOYK1350.com.
Bottom of the third, Revs lead it 2-1. Start of a 6-game homestand tonight. Tomorrow, Go Green Night, presented by the York County Solid Waste Authority. First 1,700 fans get the tote bag giveaway. And also inside the park fireworks. Weather should be great. Tickets on sale at YorkRevolution.com, 717-801-HITS, and at the Apple Chevrolet ticket office. Barnstormers in for 3, off Monday, then Long Island in for 3. Here's Talbot Nash to lead off. Tanner Peters' first pitch is swung through. And Nash up there hacking.
The latest of a very, very home-heavy first half for the Revolution, and as well as they're playing in the first half, they may win the division in the first half by virtue of that alone.
The slider for a called strike. It's 0-2.
They really, really want to win a first half championship, not just for the security that comes with knowing you're going to the playoffs already, but also, you know, most of the games in the second half are on the road, and they're only playing about 500 on the road.
Pitch to Nash is just inside. Good eye. A strikeout victim in the first.
What are we now, about a month away from the end of the first half?
That's mind-boggling. It just flies. Pitch to Nash is down and away, a slider. Well, and since the opening road trip, the Revs have not gone to 2 stops back-to-back except for Lancaster, which was a commuter trip. The 2-2 and a fastball, strike 3 called on the outer edge. Nash knew it, and Peters with his 4th strikeout, second of Nash. So even, we sleep in our own beds. Even that commute to Lancaster, it does feel like this team has reaped the benefits of a home-heavy schedule.
At 16-5, I'd say so.
Yes. Here's Alfredo Marte. And a slider just missed. David Snyder flinched, which will not make Peters very happy. Marte fouled to first back in the first inning. On the wind and the 1-0. Fastball, it's a called strike. Inside corner at the knees at 91. It is nice to say that they have the best home field advantage in the league. Pitch to Marte is down and away, 2-1.
Certainly puts on a good show for those that come out for it.
And I certainly do not think it's by accident. These guys are so comfortable hitting here. The 2-1 and a rip. Speaking of it, base hit to left. That thing's scorched. Alfredo Marte with a hard line drive single to left field. He's a 1-out base runner. The Revs with their 5th hit.
They might want to examine that ball, Darryl, see if Marte has branded it with whatever words were on his bat where he hit it at.
Oh, that was scalded. Here's Brian Pounds, who led off the 2-run second with a walk and scored. Revs up 2-1 here in the home third. And Peters the pitch, Marte running, and no throw. He'll slide in with a steal. It's a called strike. He didn't need to slide, but he didn't realize that. And what a jump. He had such a good jump that Cutler couldn't even think about throwing it. He took off and he flew, and the Revs could use some speed. That is Marte's first attempt, and that was an impressive one. The 0-1 to Pounds, tried to check, and the plate ump says he went on a slider breaking away, 0-2.
That's the one thing the Revs have been missing from their attack. Just 13 stolen bases this year, now 14. They've been caught 13 times, so you talk about a team that's built like a classic Earl Weaver Orioles team. Single, wait for a 3-run homer. Yeah, pretty much that.
Now Peters set. And the 0-2 to Pounds. Breaking ball dives away. What was really impressive is Marte did that on the first pitch to have that good of a jump. He didn't wait around, didn't concern himself with a pick over or anything. There's the stretch and the 1-2. That's down in the dirt. So Pounds patiently works it back to even. Michael Rocket on deck. And trying to add to a 2-1 lead here in the third. Marte checks around as he leads from second out in some sunlight. And time asked for. Shadows pretty much the bottom half of the infield and much of left, but sunlight everywhere else. Now the 2-2, and just inside as Pounds raises the arms up. It'll be a full count. It's now 66 pitches for Peters here in the first 3 innings. And this is only his 3rd start. He's, I would not think, terribly stretched out yet. He went 4 innings his last one. The 3-2, swing and a miss. A 3-2 slider. He did have first base open, and he did his best to not let Brian Pounds beat him. That's out number 2.
Well, the one thing you want if you're Butch Hobson, you don't want Peters making too early of an exit. It's only the first game of the series. You don't want to have to overtax your bullpen with so much more baseball to play this weekend.
Their last 10 games, their starters have averaged under 5 innings. Here's Michael Rocket, and Peters missing high and tight. Rocket a strikeout his first time up. That strikeout was Peters' 5th in the first 3 innings. 2 this inning, 2 last inning. The Revs doing a little bit of damage in between. Now the 1-0. And a chopper at third. Bell backs up. He gloves it, letter high, fires, and it's in time to get Rocket by a step. Now Marte the single and the steal, but the Revs unable to cash in. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Will DeBoer will have the play-by-play as we head to the 4th. End of 3. It's York 2, Lancaster 1.
Smith, Mayer & Little is a holistic wealth management group with one product, advice. We aim to simplify our clients' lives, help them retire comfortably, and build lasting legacies for their families and the causes they care about. Our purpose is simple, to make a meaningful difference in the lives of our clients, our community, and the world in which we live with the advice we provide. Smith, Mayer & Little, a wealth of knowledge about wealth. We make our living by making a difference. Visit us at financialjava.com.
Janney Montgomery Scott LLC, member NYSE, FINRA, and SIPC.
How does it feel to win $100,000 home makeover from the Pennsylvania Lottery with top prizes of $100,000? It's amazing! Because the instant you play could be the instant you win. And even if you don't win instantly, you can enter the second chance drawings online at palottery.com for a chance to win a $100,000 home makeover or one of 1,000 other prizes. The Pennsylvania Lottery. Keep on scratching. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
Eric Hosmer's got nothing on this. Mad Dash Grilled Cheese is comfort food at its finest. Mad Dash is Central PA's favorite artisan grilled cheese truck, bringing you creative concoctions with the freshest and most flavorful ingredients. Available for food truck festivals, weddings, corporate, and private caterings. Find Mad Dash this year along the third base line at Peoples Bank Park for all York Revolution home games. Call 717-574-5168 or visit online at mad-grilledcheese.com. Mad Dash Artisan Grilled Cheese. Welcome home.
First in York, first in sports. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
We head to the top of the fourth inning. Revs leading 2-1 here on this Friday night in South Central PA. It is the War of the Roses. It is presented by PNC Bank, and the Revs are trying to win their second time in this series this year. And there's a comebacker, sends Gailey to his backside. There's a pick by Rocket at second base, and Perez can't quite scoop up the low throw. That play had a little bit of everything. Danger, athleticism, and a touch of disappointment at the end. My goodness, Josh Whitaker. All in all, it's an infield single. He hit that one right towards Frank Gailey's head. Gailey hit the deck like he was under sniper fire. It was Rocket who picked it, kept it from going into the outfield. The throw was tricky, and Perez, with not as much experience at first base this year, couldn't quite get to it. So now Josh Bell comes up. He takes inside for ball one. Bell, a ground out to third, his first time up. He will step to the plate with Whitaker, the man who scored the only run of the game for the Barnstormers, and that solo home run in the second on first, and Gailey misses outside for ball two. We'll have a look at our York Mitsubishi out-of-town scoreboard. It's a full Friday night, the first Friday night in June here in the Atlantic League. Game's going on right now. Sugarland up 1-0 at Long Island in the bottom of the fourth inning as Gailey makes the throw over to first. Perez had to reach to keep that one from going to the backstop. Other games going on right now. Scoreless in Somerset. Patriots hosting Bridgeport in the bottom of the second inning. And bottom of the fourth from New Britain. Bees down 4-0 to Southern Maryland. The 2-0 pitch, tapped foul. Deflects off of Bell and rolls just out of the batter's circle there onto the grass. York a 2-1 lead over Lancaster. Rivals as old as the families in 15th century England. And somehow that makes a baseball rivalry. 2-1 pitch tipped and squeezed by Tejeda. That's strike two, and now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Josh Bell. The chants of breadsticks percolating through the crowd. And they narrowly missed it that time. That fastball riding inside, and the count goes full. Well, it was close. Borderline. The crowd just getting a bit louder now. It's a nice night to come out and yell and scream and consume sticks of dough. Gailey the stretch and the payoff pitch fouled away. This one soaring back towards the first base concourse, where it will go home with a lucky fan from Fawn Grove. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat to Bell. With a perfect side dish on the line. The 3-2 pitch. Ground ball over to third. Past a diving. Pounds into left, base hit. Breadsticks spoiled once again. That's back-to-back singles for the Barnstormers to lead off the top of the fourth. And that sets the table for Sean Holton. He have the 4 home runs in his first 16 games. Holton, a walk and a stolen base his first time up. And he's been hitting rather well over the last 10 days. Of course, everyone for Lancaster has. They're batting .304 as a team in the past 10, and there's a wave and a whiff and a breaking ball. He was looking fastball, and it's strike one. Holton himself, 300 batter over his last 10 days. 4 home runs and 9 RBIs. Off to a hot start in his time with the red and yellow and beige, I suppose that is. There's a swing and a miss at a breaking ball that rides outside, and it's strike two. Revs up 2-1. Top of the 4th inning. Barnstormers threatening. They've got Whitaker on second rather. Bell is on first with nobody out. Gailey stands in, gets his sign from Tejeda. Isaiah setting up middle. There's the pitch, popped him up. Shallow left field. Oncoming is Repko, fights the sun, makes the catch, one away. Just your really, really long infield fly, you could call that one. Nice lazy pop up. And that brings up Mike McDade. For McDade, with those new prescription eyewear lenses, was able to tell that his fly ball in left field drifted just over the foul line in the 2nd inning. He fouled out to left instead of flying out to left. First pitch, Gailey from that sidearm action. He misses high for ball 1. Gailey will come at you with the different arm slots. Not quite your conventional pitcher. It's allowed him success here in his couple seasons in the Atlantic League. And he misses low and away for ball 2. McDade, a Las Vegas man, 27 years old. He's been a big bopper for most of his career, averages mid-double-digit home runs, so mid-teens pretty much. The 2-0 pitch, swing and a miss, a big hack at a ball that was not there. It dipped down 12-6 for strike 1. McDade, home run champion of the Florida State League back in 2010. He's a member of the Dunedin Blue Jays. The 2-1 from Gailey. Fastball, inner black, called strike 2 at 88 miles an hour. That's about as fast as Gailey is going to pitch. So now he's got the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Trying to keep everybody settled at their respective bases. He would certainly welcome a ground ball right here. Tank with the 2-2. And he's got the ground ball. Nice play by Wilson to get to his knees. The throw over to third base was deflected by Whitaker as he's running to third base. And now the recovery throw from Pounds to the plate. And Whitaker is tagged out. Oh boy, screwball baseball. Whitaker goes to third, score it 1-5-2 to nail him at the plate. Again, that throw, Wilson from his knees tried to get the force at third, ended up deflecting off of Whitaker, trickling near the railing of the Lancaster dugout. Brian Pounds racing over there to try and get it, and he ends up throwing Whitaker out at the plate. No complaints from anybody. Runners move up, though. So McDade goes to second base, Bell to third. 2 out, men in scoring position, and Charlie Cutler, the left-handed catcher, batting. He takes a fastball outside for ball 1. I think they'll call that one just a plain old fielder's choice. I don't see him putting an error on the board right now. Cutler walked his first time up, and he swings through a slider for strike 1. Big hack. He got to his knee like he was proposing for that ball to travel to the ends of the earth with him. That ball said, no, 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 no. I just like it in Tejeda's mitt. Revs trying to protect a 2-1 lead in the top of the 4th. Second and third with 2 down. 1-1 count coming after Cutler calls time. Charlie, the San Franciscan. Born and raised out west. 1-1 from Gailey. There's a little tapper, and it's off of Cutler. That one deflected off of his left foot. He crumples in a heap, but the heap stands right back up. Oh, that was his right knee that deflected off of. The fleshy part just above the knee, so that could have been much worse than it ended up being. Right now it's a 1-2 count coming from Gailey to Cutler, trying to strand the man aboard. He gets his sign from Tejeda. sets with that right foot above the left. The 1-2, low and away. Nice slide from Tejeda to keep that one from going to the backstop. So now deuces extra wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs with 2 on. Gailey's ready. The 2-2 pitch, low and outside. Nice take by Cutler, and the count is full. Cutler pretty decent at drawing walks there, hitting .299 coming into this game, a .391 on base percentage. With the base open, I wonder if Gailey will just throw him some junk here, see if he can get him to chase. The payoff pitch jammed him inside, and it's a slow roller to third base, but it trickles foul as it caught the lip of the grass. Pounds makes the flip to DJ Boston, who makes the fake throw into the crowd and just toss it in the dugout, where instead Sean Halton will make a throw about halfway up, and that's going to be a souvenir for a lucky kid from Windsor. Now Butch Hobson's going to come out with the trainer, apparently concerned that Cutler might have hurt something. Ashley Wenger, the trainer for the Lancaster Barnstormers. She'll take a look at Charlie Cutler and say, well, Butch, he's a catcher. He's seen far worse than this. And Butch will say, oh, you're right about that. Let's just go back into the dugout. And tonight, of course, the role of Butch being played by Richard Nixon. Another 3-2 pitch coming. This will be the 7th of the showdown between Gailey and Cutler. The lead at stake. Revs up 2-1 for the moment. Payoff pitch. Spoiled again. This one fouled back and out of play towards the third base concourse, where it deflects off of the luxury suites and nearly takes out a little old lady about 4 rows up. Well, she appears to be all right. That's all the medicine you need for a week, pretty much. Just a nice wake-up call. Here comes pitch number 8 from Gailey. Came inside and hit him. That busted him on the elbow. And so with 3 balls against him already, it works just like a walk. And that loads him up for Lance Zawadski. Zawadski 0 for 1 today. A ground out to second base, and this will prompt a visit from Paul Fletcher. Gailey at 63 pitches through 3 2/3 innings. He may be starting to tire on what has been his longest outing of the season. Remember, Gailey was retired after last year, hung it up, then decided about 3-4 weeks ago that he wasn't quite ready to hang it up for good. So he's not only getting back into starting shape, but he's still in the midst of getting back into pitching shape. It's worked out well for him so far, as he didn't have anything against him in the ERA mark until the 2nd inning with Whitaker's homer, but now a pressure situation later in a game that he's thrown in months, a good many months. So Fletch will get the visit. Nobody warming in the pen right now for the Revs, and this will be Gailey's inning to do with it as he pleases against Lance Zawadski. Zawadski, Framingham, Massachusetts native. He calls San Antonio home now. Here's the pitch from Gailey, and it is a ball just a shade outside. And it's 1-0. Zawadski became just the 4th member of the 2020 club in Lancaster Barnstormer history last year. 20 homers and 20 stolen bases. There's a tapper that's foul over towards the first base dugout. Those 20 homers led the Atlantic League. Zawadski, an integral part of the Barnstormers' last Atlantic League championship team back in 2014. 128 games that year, 11 home runs, and 53 driven in. He takes the low one away. Nice slide by Tejeda, who does the splits. He'll get points from the gymnastics judges who are preparing for the Olympics, but it'll be a ball against Gailey on the scoreboard. Revs up 2-1 for the moment. Barnstormers have Bell on third, McDade on second, Cutler on first with 2 down in this top of the 4th inning. Now Gailey, the 2-1 pitch. High fly ball, right field but playable. Marte about 10 steps in front of the warning track, makes the catch, side retired. So Frank Gailey plays with fire in the 4th inning, but he does not get burned. For the Barnstormers, no runs on 2 hits, no errors, 3 left on. Middle of the 4th, your score, York 2, Lancaster 1. This is the War of the Roses, presented by PNC Bank on Revs Radio, WOYK.
Hey, sports fans, great news! You can now listen to Sports Radio 1350 anywhere with the new WOYK mobile apps. Stuck in line at the dry cleaners? No problem. Hung up in Helsinki? Say hi to our Finnish friends for us. Wherever you are, WOYK is with you on the brand new mobile apps. York's only local sports station just went mobile and global. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. First in York, first in sports. Come and celebrate 10 years of York Revolution baseball with the Celebrate York Series presented by Memorial Hospital. The series honors significant contributions from York, Pennsylvania's most notable events and favorite citizens with giveaways every Friday night home game. The series continues on Friday, June 17th with a Bruce Arians Gnome giveaway. Visit YorkRevolution.com for more details. It's the Celebrate York Series, proudly presented by Memorial Hospital for the York Revolution's 10th anniversary season.
Come on! Colin Cowherd.
The pitcher who gave it up, who should worry more about getting his two-seamer on the outside part of the plate, Sam Dyson, he wanted to talk about that 1 second of raw human emotion where Jose Bautista, flipped a bat.
Jose needs to calm that down, just kind of respect the game a little more.
You gotta be kidding me.
This is The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
I'm blowing everything up. We're starting over.
Weekdays at 3 on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. Your county, your teams. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. First in York, first in sports.
Bottom of the 4th, Revs 2, Stormers 1. York weathering the potential storm in the top of the 4th inning. Frank Gailey giving up a couple of hits, stranding the bases loaded. In the midst of that, a nice play at the plate. Just your regular 6-5-2 put out. That retired Whitaker a couple of feet shy of sliding in. And the aforementioned Josh Wilson, who started that play at the plate, comes up first in the 4th inning. His first pitch is a strike right down George Street from Tanner Peters, and it's 0-1. Wilson an infield single and a run back in the 2nd inning. Now here's the 0-1. Little half swing. Did he go around? No, says Dane Rataski. Wilson getting whispers already as the smoothest fielding shortstop in the Atlantic League. I would expect if he's here long enough, he'll get a spot on that red, white, and blue team. And there's a chopper foul down the third base line. Polo barely even moves for it. And of course, by barely, I mean not at all. And so Wilson stands back in, taps the plate once, stands up in that square stance. 1-2 from Peters. Drilled deep left. Turn and watch it go. No doubt about this one from Josh Wilson. A solo home run over the arch nemesis. Someone's going to need a new window. The Revs are going to need a run on the board. It's 3-1 York. Boy, oh boy, that one got out of here in a hurry. Usually with the Nemesis, you have to wait a split second to see whether that's going to have enough hang time to clear that 37 feet, 8-inch wall. Not so much that time. It was still at the apex when it cleared the yellow line. And now there's a chopper by James Simmons over to shortstop. Aarons picks it up, throws over to first in time, one away. For Wilson, his 4th home run of the season. And for the Revs, building on that league lead, 46 home runs in their first 42 games. And that makes a winner out of Tyler McKim on your Heritage Lawn and Landscape Care home run contest. Jason Repko takes a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Congratulations, Tyler, for winning a prize pack from Heritage Lawn and Landscape Care. Your lawn and landscape care needs. That's Heritage Lawn and Landscape Care. There's a wave and a whiff of a slider. 0-2 the count to Repko, who blooped an RBI single over the second baseman Zawadzki's head back in the 2nd inning. That got the scoring going for the Revolution. Peters the 0-2. Little half swing he went around, says David Snyder, and Jason knew it, so he'll walk back to the dugout. 6th strikeout for Peters. That's one thing he's got going for him. He's gotten a lot of swings and misses. But he finds himself down 3-1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. The solo homer by Josh Wilson leading things off here. Now we'll face Isaiah Tejeda. Came in the 4th leading hitter in the Atlantic League. He's boosted that already today. He's 2 for 2. 3 for 3. A little hard ground ball out of reach of Zawadzki at second base and into right field. So Isaiah Tejeda, a man who ate multi-hit innings for breakfast throughout the month of May, is 3 for 3 already tonight. He's a man who doesn't stop at 2 hits a game. My goodness. And for Tejeda, that is his 6th 3-hit game of the season, and it's not even close. Only man even remotely close to that is this man at the plate now, Dre, who's got 4. Perez 0 for 1 with a walk today. And Peters steps out, watches Tejeda back to first base. Isaiah's now on a 3-game hitting streak. Short lead for him off of first base. The first pitch to Perez is swung on and missed for strike 1. That one a slider that ended up at his feet. And it's 0-1. The Revs 3 runs on 7 hits, no errors. Lancaster 1 run, 5 hits, and no errors. Revs trying to draw closer in the annual War of the Roses presented by PNC Bank. They trailed the season series 3-1. The 0-1 pitch, that one is low for ball 1. At stake, the Community Cup and the chance to show it off at your home ballpark and put your respective rose color in it. A lot of red roses in it at Clipper Magazine Stadium when we went in mid-May. It looks so much better with the white roses. That's just science. Tejeda takes off. The pitch catches the inside corner for strike 2. The throw is way high. Aarons has to leap to keep it from going into the outfield, and Isaiah Tejeda has a stolen base. His 2nd of the season and the 2nd of the game for York. And I'll tell you how often that's happened. Not very often. In fact, that is the first time all season that the Revs have stolen multiple bases on any given night. Running Revs, you ought to call them now. 1-2, tapped up the middle. Who will get to it? Nobody. Zawadzki deflects it. Aarons keeps it from going into center field, so Tejeda will have to stop at third base with a seeing eye infield single for Andres Perez. 2nd infield hit of the game for the Revolution, and for Dre, who's already up over 500 with the Revs and 1,000 for his career. That is hit number somewhere in here, 500 something. 510 for Dre. And now with Telvin Nash, the dangerous man, coming up, Butch Hobson's going to have a visit with Peters. And they're going to bide some time as the Barnstormers just now getting someone up in the pen. That's Justin Jackson, the two-way player from Asheville, North Carolina. High stepping and getting loose in the bullpen. Butch brings the entire infield in to talk strategy on how to pitch to Telvin Nash, who can break this thing open with just one swing. 3-1 is your score right now. Lancaster trying to avoid letting it get away from them. They already sense that they're gaining on Gailey. But Nash, I am sure, can feel the same about Peters, who's at 80 pitches. Men on the corners, 2 down. And the first pitch from Peters, swung on and missed for strike one. Nash, a big hack at it, comes up with air, and it's 0-1. A couple of strikeouts for Telvin today, one of the swinging and one of the looking variety. Now Peters working from the middle of the rubber, checks the man on third, that's Tejeda. Here's the 0-1, taken low and away for ball one. There's that pitch that Nash has been susceptible to earlier in his career. He's been doing a better job of holding up on it this season. Hence he's batting .290, which is about 20 points higher than his career average. Here's the 1-1. Lifted foul and out of play over towards the first base box seats. Going home with a fan from Manchester. And now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tejeda on third. Perez on first. Just about twilight time here. All shadows on the field at Peoples Bank Park, but will it be midnight for the Barnstormers? Nash calls time and he steps back in again. Peters, those white shoes of his glowing a bit less with the lack of sunlight. He steps off. And most of his teammates wearing cleats with embellishments of red for the Barnstormer colors. Peters is deciding to go with the all-white shoes. The 1-2 pitch swung on, foul tipped into the mitt of Cutler, who squeezes for strike 3, side retired. Revs leave a couple aboard, but they get an insurance run on the solo homer by Josh Wilson. All in all, 1 run on 3 hits, no errors, 2 left on. And to the 4th year score. It is Revolution 3, Barnstormers 1 here on Revs Radio, WOYK.
You hear a lot about CPAP masks these days, but here's something you don't hear much about. Over half of the people who wear a CPAP mask for sleep stop wearing it within a year. How's that working for you? Dr. Gordon Bell would like you to hear this. York Dental Sleep Therapy has dental options that can help many of those people. If you or someone you live with is struggling with sleep apnea, visit yorksleep.com and see how Dr. Gordon Bell can help return your home to peaceful nights of deep, restful sleep. If you're groggy during the workday, if you wake up feeling exhausted, if you would like to get your nighttime sleep patterns back to a healthy state, get a confirmation from your doctor, then meet with Dr. Bell at his office on West Market Street in Hallam. He'll evaluate your symptoms and discuss which treatments would best suit your situation. Dr. Bell can restore restful sleep and get you feeling better day and night. York Dental Sleep Therapy. Call 316-1299 or visit yorksleep.com to learn more.
Pain doesn't take Sunday off. Neither do we. We're open weekdays 8 to 8 and weekends 9 to 6. Just walk into WellSpan Urgent Orthopedics, 2319 South George Street in York, across from the Apple Hill Health Campus. Visit wellspan.org/urgent orthopedics today.
Follow York Sports on your Android. Search Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Daryl's all right, Will's all right. They just seem a little weird. Ain't that the truth? Top of the 5th inning for Peoples Bank Park. Revs up 3-1 over the Barnstormers. Top of the order coming up to face Frank Gailey. It is Witherspoon, Ahrens, and Gindel. Gailey at 67 pitches through 4 innings. Got out of the bases loaded jam in the 4th. And his first pitch to Witherspoon is smacked through the hole on the left side into left for a base hit. Witherspoon is 2 for 3 tonight. 1 pitch and 1 base runner for the Barnstormers. And with that, we pause 10 seconds for station ID here on Revs Radio, WOYK.
First in York, first in sports. Your only local sports station. The new Sports Radio 1350, WOYK, York, Pennsylvania.
This is Will DeBoer, and we are coming to you live on a Friday night from Peoples Bank Park in scenic downtown York. Kevin Ahrens up next, and there's a soft toss over to first base. Travis Witherspoon a threat to run, as usual. Those of you joining in, we thank you for joining in on this fine Friday night. We know it's first Fridays here in York, and we appreciate you taking your time out from that potential fun to listen to our fun instead. Ahrens takes low and in for ball 1. Kevin 0 for 2 today. Will they finally be able to slow him down? 11 RBIs in his last 4 games. He has surged to the lead in the RBI pack in the Atlantic League. And there's a strike on the outer black. 1-1 is the count. Ahrens with 29 RBIs already this year. He had just 64 last season with the Mississippi Braves in the Southern League. 1-1 pitch. Nice movement on that breaking ball. It catches inside corner for strike 2. Gailey stares into Tejeda. Takes another peek back at Witherspoon and will make a hard sidearm throw. Over to the bag. Witherspoon this year, 5 stolen bases. He's been caught twice. Once stole 44 bases for the Cedar Rapids Colonels. 44 stolen bases in 102 games at Low A in 2011. And there's a double play ball possibility. Wilson, shovel pass to second base. Rocket with a turn. It brings Perez off the bag, but it brings him right to Ahrens to apply the tag. 6-4-3. Frank Gailey, meet your new best friend. He's got you 2 outs in this inning. That erases the tying run from the base paths, so with a 3-1 lead in the top of the 5th, Gailey will face Caleb Gindel with nobody on and 2 out. Second double play the Revs have turned. The first one came with Gailey at the plate as he fouls one back to the screen, 0-1. Gindel is 0 for 2 today. Third leading hitter in the league at a .342 average. 0-1 taken low and away, and it's ball 1. He is on a 4-game hitting streak. 9 for 24 on that last Barnstormer homestand. Home run, a few doubles. There's breaking ball, that's low and outside, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Gailey up at 75 pitches now. Fine outing for him, but the Revs are warming someone up in the pen. 2-1, about the same spot, low and away. 3 balls and 1 strike. Now Frank, he always works from the stretch. The 3-1 pitch, that one catches outer black, and it's called strike 2. Frank Gailey, 1 strike away from qualifying for the win in his first start of the season. Here's the kick and the 3-2. Fouled away. That going down the third base side. It will go home with a fan from Winterstown. Winterstown, where winter isn't just coming, it's here. Pitch number 7 from Gailey. Here it comes. Fly ball, left field, this one chasing Repko back to the wall. He makes a leaping catch and drops it in front of the sprint sign. Difficult play for Repko, but he had a beat on it, just couldn't close that glove in sync with where the ball was. A not-so-clean single from Caleb Gindel, who spoils Frank Gailey's chance at facing the minimum in the top of the fifth. So with 2 down, a man is now on first, and Josh Whitaker, who took Gailey deep in the top of the second inning, will come up. If he does it again, we're tied. It's 3-1 York here in the top of the fifth inning. Here's the first pitch. Breaking ball right down George Street, called strike one. Gailey trying to fight his way off the mound in the spotlight right now, just as a staged alley. He's got the spotlight on outstanding soup, salads, and sandwiches. Here's the 0-1. Fly ball deep to left field. Repko goes back on it. He's at the big wall, and it hits about a quarter of the way up off the arch nemesis. Green light given to Gindel. The throw coming in is cut off by Gailey, who shakes his head and says something to himself. It's an RBI double for Josh Whitaker off the nemesis, and the Barnstormers are back within one. It's 3-2. Finishing that thought there, Stage Deli is open late tonight for First Fridays. Mention the Revs and get 10% off your order. Frank Gailey could use a strikeout right now. If he gets it of Josh Bell, the crowd's going to get crazy bread from Little Caesars. Ron Scudder is warming up in the bullpen for the Revolution. Mace opting to go with another lefty. Same look as they're seeing from Gailey. That's whenever he comes in, but first a stop and a visit from Paul Fletcher. Game reset. Barnstormers getting on the board first. A solo homer by Josh Whitaker in the top of the second inning. Revs responding with 2 of their own in their half of the second. Leadoff walk by Brian Pounds, then a strikeout, an infield single by Josh Wilson, another strikeout, RBI bloop single by Jason Repko to bring home Pounds, and then an RBI single of the not-so-bloop variety from Isaiah Tejeda brought home Wilson. York added 1 more on the solo homer by Josh Wilson over the arch nemesis in the 4th inning, and the Barnstormers have come back with 1 of their own in this top of the 5th, looking for more with Whitaker on second and 2 out. So Fletch has gone back into the dugout. And Gailey will have the matter of facing Josh Bell. 1 for 2 today is the right-handed third baseman. Well, switch hitter, so he's hitting from the right side, and he takes high and outside for ball 1. Bell, the Rockford, Illinois native. Played parts of 3 seasons in the Bigs, 2 with the Baltimore Orioles, and then the Arizona Diamondbacks back in 2012. There's a wave and a whiff and a slider. That one breaking way low, and Bell is even in the count now, 1-1. 100 games in the major leagues. That's how long Bell spent there. 4 home runs, 22 RBIs for him. Most coming in 2010, 53 games with the Orioles. There's a swing through a fastball, led her high, and now Gailey's ahead in the count, 1-2. 3-2 Revolution, top of the 5th. Breadsticks on the line. Gailey stands in. Tejeda setting up outside for the moment. Frank is ready, straightens that right leg. Kick, 1-2. Outside with the floater, and it's 2-2. Deuce has gone wild right now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Slightly open stance for Bell. Waving the bat in clockwise circles. 2-2, taps it foul down the third base line. DJ Boston pantomiming like he came up with that ball in the coach's box and faking a throw into the crowd. And anyone who fell for that may need their eyes checked. They can go to the same place that McDade went. Another 2-2 pitch coming. This will be the 6th from Frank Gailey. And now the 2-2 pitch. Fastball, left it outside. Full count. Second straight time he's taken Bell full. Big pitch coming for Gailey. If he leaves it out of the zone, this may be his last batter. Here's the payoff pitch. Jammed him. Lifted out of play into the crowd. And now we will have the 8th pitch of the showdown between Frank Gailey and Josh Bell, and what a showdown it has become. This will be pitch number 89 of the night for Frank Gailey. Tank with the payoff. Looped foul down the third base line. That one coming a bit closer. Okay, Ray coming back with the sarcasm a little bit there. Keep us up all night. So can we. Pitch number 9 coming from Gailey to Bell. Frank gives no mind to the base runner. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Runner high fastball at 87. Breadsticks for everybody. And a win in line for Frank Gailey. For the Barnstormers, 1 run on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. Middle of the 5th, it's an official ball game here at Peoples Bank Park with your score, York 3, Lancaster 2, here on Revs Radio, WOYK.
Providing quality services efficiently and in a timely manner to its clients is the mission of the law firm of Griffith, Strickler, Lerman, Salamis & Calkins. GSLSC is equipped to handle any real estate transactions, leases, residential and commercial real estate settlements, zoning issues, and all matters involving municipalities. They are also experienced in the formation and operation of family real estate ventures that are tax sensitive to the needs of the investors. Griffith, Strickler, Lerman, Salamis & Calkins is an approved title insurance agency and can provide you with title insurance and legal representation at one low cost when buying a home or investment property. Don't risk any real estate settlement without an experienced real estate attorney from the law firm of Griffith, Strickler, Lerman, Salamis & Calkins at your side. Phone 717-757-7602. They've been handling residential and commercial real estate matters in South Central Pennsylvania for more than 50 years. With mortgage interest rates at an all-time low, now is the time to buy or refinance. Phone 717-757-7602 today or visit their website, gslsc.com.
Get into the ball game with great savings and great weekly specials at your Sure Save neighborhood markets. Use your gold card every time you shop and you automatically receive savings and rewards. And get incredible deals on the new Best Yet brand products at Saubel's Markets, Wetzel's Market, and also at Nell's Market Fresh Foods. Always a hit and always great savings.
There's only one place for local high school sports. Sports Radio 1350.
It is the bottom of the 5th from Peoples Bank Park. It is a Revs 3-2 lead in Game 1 of this 3-game set, part of the War of the Roses presented by PNC Bank. Marte, Pounds, and Rocket due up against Peters, who's throwing to a new battery mate right now, and the first pitch to Alfredo Marte is fouled away. That is strike 1. Yes, Charlie Cutler banged up a little bit his last time hitting, so he has been removed from the game, and Chase Patterson taking his place. Patterson, the new Lancaster catcher. And he'll bat 8th, same place in the order as Cutler. Peters' next pitch is a fastball right down George Street for called strike 2. Patterson, the backup catcher, he's appearing in just his 13th game of the season for the Barnstormers. Now the 0-2 pitch taken outside for ball 1. Marte today is 1 for 2, a single and a stolen base for him back in the 3rd inning. Now Peters into the wind. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Little check swing. Did he go? No, says Dane Rataski. And now Marte calls time to step out, dig himself back into the batter's box. 2-2 pitch, low and in, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes right away to Alfredo Marte. coming up on 90 pitches right now for Marte. The payoff offering skips the dirt, goes to the backstop. Ball 4. Alfredo will stop and remove his left shin guard. Leadoff walk for Marte. Second walk of the game for Peters, and his first since the first inning. That brings Brian Pounds to the dish. Pounds today, 0 for 1, a walk, a run, and a strikeout. Peters ready, standing straight up, setting at the chest, and he steps off. Well, Pounds coming in just batting .236. That's about the only thing that hasn't gone right for him is the average. Cracked 9 doubles, 4 home runs, and a bit of the clutch gene to him this season. First pitch is a fastball on the outer black for strike 1. Pounds playing the hero at least 4 times, 3 of those times on the road. Game-winning hits in the Revs' last at-bat in both ends of a doubleheader on May 7th at Southern Maryland. As Peters steps off again. Then 1 week later on May 14th on a wild night at this ballpark, a 2-run homer to give the Revs the advantage in the bottom of the 8th inning of a game they would beat Sugar Land in by a score of 13-11. Pounds, the home run to make it 12-11. 0-1, Tapper. This one foul. Polo shades to his right. Scoops with 2 hands, so nice fundamentals from the third base coach for the Revs. The count is 0-2. And then earlier this week, that historic comeback on the last day of May. Pounds, the 3-run homer to give the Revs the lead. That 7-run 9th inning, their highest run output in the 9th inning in franchise history, coming back to stun Bridgeport 9-7. Peter steps off again. Marte making himself a threat to steal. He stole a base in the 3rd inning, and Peters, hyper aware of that, steps off and draws the ire of the crowd who want to see some excitement. Now in Lancaster, that's when they would play Peter Griffin saying, "Hey, stop it, stop it." And I will say once again, "Hey, stop it," with a throw back over to first base. The video board's got the right idea there. Peters, finally the 0-2 pitch. And he catches high inside corner for strike 3. Crowd didn't like it. That pitch bending Pounds back. Well, it was close. Borderline 3rd strike call. Pounds not really complaining about it, though. He must have seen something to say, yep, that's a strike. So with 1 down and a man on first, and the Revs up 3-2, Michael Rocket steps into the dish. Rocket today, strikeout and a ground out on his ledger. The first pitch is a tapper over to short, double play possibility, but it scoots under the glove of Ahrens, who lifted it up a split second too early. Marte will go first to third. Rocket is on after the error by the shortstop, Kevin Ahrens, who has been doing things so well with the bat over the past week that he has failed to do so with the glove. And they just played the overly cheery music with the gold "You Tried" star out in right center field. I know Daryl absolutely loves that. He can't stop cracking up. And I think it's the lowercase Comic Sans font that really makes that graphic. So instead of out of the inning, potentially, it's first and third with 1 out, and Josh Wilson the chance to do some more damage. He takes a strike at the knees, 0-1. Wilson 2 for 2, a solo home run over the big wall and left. That came back in the 4th inning. And that's the difference right now for the Revs, who are up 3-2. 3 runs on 8 hits and no errors. Lancaster 2 runs on 8 hits with 1 error, the one moments ago by Ahrens. 0-1 pitch, jam job, and it's fouled back over our heads in the press box. 0-2 the count. Wilson examines the bat. Monotone black bat. I'm guessing ash, because apparently I'm an expert in that sort of thing. 0-2 pitch. Ground ball over to third, a warm burner. This should be two. Bell over to second for one. Zawadzki back to first for the double play, and the side is retired after what should have been the fourth and fifth outs of the inning. So the defense not costing Peters that time. For the Revs, no runs on, no hits, one error, one left on base. End of the fifth, your score, York 3, Lancaster 2, here on the WOYK Revs Radio Network.
And here we go, folks. She steps up to the box. This is a real pressure situation. Two kids tugging at her blouse, a long line of customers, and only 30 minutes to get in, get a dozen maple donuts, and get to the party.
Oh, boy, look at the time.
Well, if Charlie Donuts All-Stars winds up, and here's the pitch.
Welcome to Maple Donuts. Can I help you?
Yes. No. I'm sorry. I'm not quite ready.
Oh, she steps out. The pressure may be too much, folks. No, wait. What's this? A meeting at the plate?
Okay, Mommy needs to order our maple donuts now. Can you two be good, please?
And she steps back up to the box.
All ready now?
I am.
She's swinging for the fences.
I'll have 4 glazed, 3 vanilla sprinkles, 3 chocolate icing, 2 jelly filled, and 1 chocolate peanut covered.
Wow, that was Major League. She read every stitch of that fastball and knocked it clean out of the park.
Enjoy your maple donuts.
Oh, we will. Okay, kids, let's go. Let's get these maple donuts to the party.
There you have it, folks. Maple Donuts, 58 varieties. Ready whenever you need to step up to the plate.
Maple Donuts taste right.
Well, I finally did it. I took my dad's advice and joined his credit union.
Which one?
PSECU. I'm eligible because my dad's a member, but I joined through work.
Really? I thought you had to work for the state.
A lot of people think that, but there are lots of ways to be eligible.
I'm not really thrilled with my bank and all their fees. I need to check them out.
Definitely. It's worth the switch.
PSCCU is the credit union for you. Find your way at psccu.com/join. This credit union is federally insured by the National Credit Union Administration, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Hi, this is Dan Patrick. Join me weekday mornings at 9 on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
We head to the top of the sixth. The Revs leading 3-2. Frank Gailey out after 5 solid innings. Ron Scudder's in. This pitching change brought to you by Maple Donuts. Gailey, 2 runs on 8 hits in 5 innings of work, 2 walks, a hit batsman, and 2 strikeouts on 90 pitches. He is in line for his second win of the year and his first as a starter. He struck out Josh Bell with a man on second to end the 5th inning, and now he gives way to a similar look from the lefty from Curacao, Ron Scudders. And Scudders' first pitch to Sean Halton is at the letters, but outside for ball 1, and Halton did not go around that time. Halton against Gailey was 0 for 1 with a walk and a stolen base. Big fella got a massive jump. So much so that Tejeda didn't even attempt a throw. 0-1, that's low and in, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Scudders making his 13th appearance of the season. He is 1-0 with a 3.97 ERA. Pitched a 1-2-3 inning against Somerset in that 13-inning game on Monday. That was his last bit of action. Did not pitch in the Bridgeport series. 2-0 pitch, lifted foul and out of play over towards the bleachers on the first base side, going home with a fan from New Freedom. Scudders, Williamstad, Curacao. That's where he calls his home, but right now in the United States, taking up residence in Perry Hall, Maryland. Scudder setting at the chest. Here's the high leg kick and the 2-1 pitch above the letters again on a fastball. It's 3-1. He wears the stirrups and the high socks. A very classy, classic baseball look, for this classic baseball rivalry. It is the War of the Roses, presented by PNC Bank. 3-1 pitch. Here's the windup and the offering. And that is below the knees for ball 4. A flip of the bat from Halton. And Scudder's has issued a leadoff walk. He's put the tying man aboard. And Mike McDade coming to the dish. So McDade stepping up. He is 0 for 2 today. Switch hitter. Well, he's batting right-handed for the 3rd time today. And the first pitch is low and in for ball 1. As a right-handed hitter, McDade only batting .200. That was coming in. No home runs for him. Actually strike that, make that 1 home run for him from the right side as a right-handed hitter. Much better as a lefty. He's hitting .319. Medium lead for Halton. And there's a fly ball out into left field. Repko getting under it, just in front of the warning track and the manual scoreboard. He makes the catch, 1 away. Let's take a look at your York Mitsubishi out-of-town scoreboard once again on this first Friday night in June of the Atlantic League season, more than halfway through the first half of the campaign. Top of the 7th from Long Island, Ducks down 2-1 to Sugarland. The Skeeters trying to keep pace with the Revs and the Barnstormers. Sugarland currently tied for 2nd with Lancaster for 2nd in that Freedom Division. Other games in action. Southern Maryland up 4-2 in New Britain in the bottom of the 7th, and Somerset leading Bridgeport 1-0 in Jersey in the top of the 6th. Chase Patterson up for the first time today, and he lifts the first pitch he sees out into shallow center field. Simmons started in on it. Now he comes off, calls off Rocket, his second baseman, to make the catch. 2 away. So now Lance Zawadski. He is 0 for 2 today. Scudder's at 8 pitches to get those 2 outs. And Ricardo Gomez warming up in the bullpen for the York Revolution. So we'll see how long Mace wants to let Scudder's go. Calvin De La Cruz pitching 7 of the 8 innings that the Revs were on the hill last night in that loss at Bridgeport, saving much of the relief arms, many arms that is. First pitch tapped over towards the hole on the right field. What a dive by Perez. Bobbles it, gets it to Scudders, who catches it, reaching across his body to make the catch. Side retired. Well, Dre made the all-defense team last year for his first basemanship, and he shows why right there. For the Barnstormers, no runs on no hits, no errors, 1 left on. Middle of the 6th, your score, York 3, Lancaster 2 here on the WOYK Revs Radio Network.
Did you send that email?
No, the server's down.
Again? That's the 3rd time this week. Did you call support?
Sure, great hold music for the last hour.
There's got to be a better way.
There is. Let SoCo Business Solutions maintain your current IT environment, evaluate your current systems, or provide support that's local and responsive. Contact SoCo at 717-505-8080 and let us be your IT solutions provider. That's 717-505-8080 or online at SoCoBusinessSolutions.com.
Wednesdays are the worst. I've got to get the kids to school in time to get to work, then it's just one long day of meetings. But hey, at least I don't have to worry about making dinner.
Kids eat free with People's Bank. Save money at every Wednesday home game.
So now when the Revs are in town, I just pull into a People's Bank, pick up that week's coupon, and dinner is done. Revolution Wednesdays? Awesome. Revolution!
Thanks to People's Bank, kids eat free at every Wednesday home game. No need to be a People's Bank customer. Just pick up your coupon at any People's Bank branch and do dinner at People's Bank Park. 1 coupon per child per game.
Waking up with the Zabe, the Steve Zabin Show.
And I know people, I can already hear you screaming at your radio. You don't even have a real job, Zabin. You just sit in front of the microphone and flap your cake hole around. I understand that. I'm not upset to be back today. I need to get back. I need to get back on the horse and get back riding again. I'm just saying it's going to take me a segment or two to get up to speed. Join me, Steve Zabin, mornings at 6 on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
On air, online, and on your smartphone. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Bottom of the sixth from downtown York, Pennsylvania. Revs up 3-2. And a pitching change brought to you by Maple Donuts. Tanner Peters out, Justin Jackson in. First time the Revs have seen Jackson this season. A two-way player. He's had reps on the hill and at the plate so far this season. And he relieves Peters after 5 innings of pretty solid work, 97 pitches for him. Gave up 3 runs, all of them earned on 8 hits, but he leaves on the short end of the decision with his team trailing the Revs 3-2. And Jackson's first look will be at James Simmons, and Jimmy L takes inside for ball 1. Numbers on Jackson, this is his 5th appearance of the season. No record, a 2.84 ERA, 2 earned runs in 6 1/3 innings, coming off of a scoreless inning against Long Island on Tuesday night. Broken bat grounder over to third base, scooped by Bell, clutches, throws to first in time, 1 away. And that broken bat is sponsored once again by Heritage Lawn and Landscape Care. For all of your, well, you guessed it, lawn and landscape care needs. They used to sell quilts, but then the Amish Mafia decided that they didn't really like that so much. Flips the order, and Jason Repko is up again, 1 for 3 with an RBI single for Repko in his return to action as the fastball from Jackson misses outside for ball 1. Repko, that hamstring trouble that kept him sidelined for a couple of weeks. Now he's rested and raring to go. 1-0 pitch, ground ball foul towards the Lancaster on-deck circle. And the count now 1-1. High twilight, the time here at Peoples Bank Park. Cotton candy sky, mostly pretty blue with some streaks of pink as Repko shows bunt and brings it back. That's a 2-1 count now to Jason Repko. Rep stands back in the 2-1 pitch from Jackson. Low and away. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. Jackson's only walked 1 man in his 6 1/3 innings coming in. Walks were trouble for him with the Carolina Mudcats of the Carolina League last year as Repko drills one. If it stays fair, it's over. And it is a foul ball. My goodness, Jason Repko coming inches away from a home run in his return to action. Well, I mean, fair or foul, it was over no matter what. The question was whether it would stay fair, and it did not. So now a 3-2 pitch coming from Jackson to Repko. Here it comes. Low and away for ball 4. Jason Repko wanted the homer. He will settle for a 1-out walk. Just finishing the thought, Jackson 26 walks in almost 53 innings with the Mudcats last year. Hit's not really his problem. It is indeed the walks that are really getting him. So with 1 out and a man on first base, Isaiah Tejeda already 3 for 3, looking for his first 4-hit game of the year. With the Revs up 3-2 here in the bottom of the 6th. Jackson's first pitch is tapped over to short. Redemption for Aaron. See the scoop over to second for 1. The throw brings McDade off the bag. A hard takeout slide by Repko, perfectly legal. And he saves Tejeda a potential double play. Fielder's choice, 6-4 in your scorebook. Repko's out. He'll get some high fives from the dugout for breaking up that double play. And Butch Hobson's going to come out and argue, saying he had no business sliding like that. We've seen this in the major leagues there. If you slide without any intent to slide and reach the bag, you're called out, and that creates a double play. And Butch giving an earful to, that's Brian DeBrouwer, the third base umpire, pointing in the face of him. And Butch gives up the ghost, and he will walk back dejectedly to the third base dugout. And so with 2 down, and a man on first, that's now Tejeda, not Repko. Andres Perez steps up. Dre, infield single back in the 4th inning, and then that diving stop in the top of the 6th to help get Ron Scudders out of the inning. We'll try and add some insurance to York's run total. There's a comebacker. Jackson has it just in front of the softball circle. Easy throw to first base is in time. Side retired. So Jackson works around a 1-out walk and needs just 10 pitches in the 6th. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left on for the Revs. Darrell Henry will take you home as we go into the top of the 7th from Peoples Bank Park. Revs leading 3-2 here on the WOYK Revs Radio Network.
This is the Dan Patrick Show.
Let's go!
The NFL has a policy here. Johnny Unitas was going to be honored by Peyton Manning. He was going to wear high-top black shoes. The NFL said, no, you couldn't do it. Pat Tillman was going to be honored by Jake Plummer, and the NFL said, no, you can't. Craig Ironhead Hayward's son was going to honor him with eye black. D'Angelo Williams, whose mother died of breast cancer in 2014, he wanted to honor her the entire season. The NFL said no. This was explained to me by the NFL years ago, that if we allow this for Peyton Manning with Johnny Unitas, which seems like a no-brainer, then what happens if you get Jimmy Lipper, who wants to honor his coach, and he's going to wear something? That's where the NFL, you may not like it, but it makes sense that you just say, no, we're not going to allow it. We can't allow this to happen, because then everybody would be doing it.
The Dan Patrick Show.
We are going to PAR to you.
Mornings at 9 on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Ross Brothers Barbecue is serving up the hits every Saturday night this season at Peoples Bank Park. Stop by Arch Street Eats on the third base corner and load up on delicious, fresh-made local barbecue. All of Ross' sauces and sides are made from scratch daily. All meats are smoked for an authentic barbecue done right. Ross Brothers also offers drive-through, dine-in, and carry-out from the restaurant at 3096 Carlisle Road in Dover, as well as delivery and full-service catering. Ross Brothers can cater any sized event from fundraisers to graduation parties to weddings. Ross Brothers Barbecue every Saturday night at Peoples Bank Park.
The radio home of the Revs. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Head of the 7th inning, Revs with a 3-2 lead here tonight, and Ricardo Gomez will take over, the one-time Barnstormer early in his career. Pitching change is brought to you by Maple Donuts. And he was not available for the game that the Revs won on Wednesday night in Bridgeport when DePaula had some trouble. Gomez was not an option to go to. He was under the weather to the point where he was back at the hotel. He'll face the top of the order, feeling better here 2 days later. Travis Witherspoon up and looks at a fastball strike at 89, which is pretty close to where Gomez has sat velocity-wise this season, occasionally up around 92. Here's a slider swung on and missed. Has been frisbeed across at the top of the zone. Witherspoon 2 for 3 on the night from their leadoff spot. A deep dusk here at Peoples Bank Park. And the 0-2. Swing and a miss! He blew him away at 92. Climbing the ladder. And Gomez looks crisp tonight as he fans him on 3 pitches, a foul tip squeezed. One down here in the top of the 7th. Ricardo in 14 outings, no record, a 1.32 ERA. 13 and 2/3 innings, 5 runs, but only 2 earned.
Coming off of the top of the 10th inning of that game against Somerset on Monday.
Here's Aarons, and he smokes the first pitch into left for a hit. He was up there looking for the first one, got one he liked. A single to left, now 1 for 4 on the night.
Yep, Gomez had the top of the 10th, loaded the bases after a couple of singles and a hit batsman, but ended up getting a fly out from Eric Ferris, one of the top hitters in the league, to keep the Patriots off the board, and then the rains came and delayed us for about 38 minutes.
Here is Caleb Gindel, who's 1 for 3. Gomez fires and a fastball called strike on the outside corner. Ooh. On our York Mitsubishi hockey scoreboard, the Bears trail Lake Erie 3-1 at the end of 2 periods. In danger of losing the first 2 at home. If they go long tonight, we'll join them in progress. And on the Revs off day on Monday, we'll have full coverage of Game 3 from Cleveland. The queue is open for them that night. The stretch from Gomez, 0-1, and a swing and a liner to left. Repko coming in, he is there, and makes the catch. It hung up for Rep, who came in a couple of steps, leaned forward, and made the grab. 2 down here in the 7th. And it'll be interesting if Gomez is able to finish this inning to see who the Revs may go to for the 8th, with DePaula a bit dinged up 2 nights ago, but long term they're not overly concerned. And a throw to first, crawling back is Aarons, who was barely off the bag. He is 4 for 5 in steals, so it is worth keeping an eye on him here with a 1-run lead. 3-2, top 7, York in front. Josh Whitaker at bat, and he swings, fouls the first one into the net. Whitaker has not been retired. Solo homer in the 2nd, infield hit in the 4th, RBI double in the 5th, a triple shy of the cycle. Gomez ready. And the 0-1 fastball, that missed high. Gomez looks like he's feeling strong tonight. Loading up on that post leg, getting a good weight transfer behind it. Well, sets the hands. The 1-1 slider bent just outside. 6:30 tomorrow night, Sunday the game at 1. That is Cancer Survivor Day, presented by Visiting Angels. First War of the Roses series held here as Gomez steps off, and intensely on that step off, staring Aarons back. Now ready, and the 2-1. Slider, swing and a miss. Whitaker was trying to tee one up, and Gomez, the late movement, got him to whiff on it. Whitaker's got an extension on his batting helmet over his cheek from a previous incident. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gomez a nod yes. And the pitch, Aarons runs and a foul tip, and that stung Tejeda. Challenged him with the fastball, and Whitaker foul tipped it, I think, off Tejeda's left shoulder, just missing the chest protector. He got hit a couple of times in Bridgeport the other night. And Gomez motioning for Mason Chong to come out to check on him. Ricardo waiting for him at home plate to make sure his catcher's good. Tejeda will talk to Chong and Mace, and he's telling them that he's okay.
Fortunately for the Revs, they've got 2 catchers on the bench right now, so if they need to go with somebody else, they're not going to worry about what happens to that guy. Lancaster doesn't quite have that luxury, and they needed to put in Their backup catcher, Patterson. They don't have another one.
These guys take such a beating. 2-2 it remains on Whitaker. The stretch from Gomez. And the kick and the pitch. Swing and a miss! He struck him out. 92 up high. And the Revs have gotten Whitaker for the first time tonight. A scoreless 7th for Ricardo. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left. 7th inning stretch from Peoples Bank Park. It's the Revs 3 and the Barnstormers 2.
Money and business are essential to the strength of a community. So is cheering and celebration and music and fun. That's why York Revolution games, concerts, youth sports, special events, and more happen at a place called Peoples Bank Park. Peoples Bank has been serving York County for more than 150 years. Always cheering, always celebrating, always committed to the things that make York County great. And to you having a great time at Peoples Bank Park. Peoples Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Come on! Colin Cowherd.
Here's Chip Kelly talking about Tim Tebow once he released him.
I didn't feel like he was good enough to be the 3 right now.
He didn't say backup that just gets in. They're not good enough to be the 3rd string quarterback. And here's the thing. You can have him on the roster. You can't have him right behind Sam Bradford, who would pull a hammy yawning.
This is The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Hey, sports fans, great news! You can now listen to Sports Radio 1350 anywhere with the new WOYK mobile apps. On your morning run? Perfect. Strapped to a wayward dentist chair? It works better than Novocaine. Wherever you are, WOYK is with you on the brand new mobile apps. York's only local sports station just went mobile and global. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. First in York, first in sports.
All about local sports. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Bottom of the 7th, Revs with a 3-2 lead. Gomez an impressive top half. Talbot Nash to lead things off. Jackson stays in. First pitch slider breaks across for a strike. Jackson is a middle infielder, 6 for 25 at the plate. He's been pitching better of late as well. And a cue foul here behind home, 0-2. And one of the unique two-way players, middle infielder, but he really wasn't able to pitch for a while because they needed infield insurance on their bench when Zawadzki was hurt. Here's a fastball that misses high. 1-2 on Nash, who has struck out all 3 times tonight. And the pitch, breaking ball, that's inside. He stood there and was prepared to wear it, had it not bent back slightly. Nash, Marte, and Pounds here in the 7th. Second inning for Jackson, who was scoreless last inning. He deals, and a foul back into the net. On that homestand for Lancaster, where they won 6 out of 7, their bullpen had an ERA of 0.94. 3 runs in 28 2/3, all by Mark Lamb, who's no longer with the team. Was released. Pitch to Nash is down low, 3-2. Of course, all the teams had to get to 25 active players by June 1st. The Revs did so with Jorge Martinez being bought by the Mexican League. 3-2, and a swing and a tapper softly to third, charging his belly, bare hands, he throws on one hop, out is Nash, and he can't believe it. The first baseman, McDade, laid out, tried to keep his foot on the bag, and Nash was about to lose his mind when he ran through first and heard the call. And he stops right away and pleads his case with Dane Ratajski. And here's Mace out to do the same. And watching the replay, it looked like Nash's foot was there first. And then it's also a question of whether McDade held the bag. It's pretty bang on when Nash got there. Revs fans let you know how they feel about it. I think McDade's foot came off watching the replay, and Nash could not believe it. Well, with a 1-run lead, that's a big first down. And here's a drive hit deep down the line and left and way out of here. Alfredo Marte, his first home run here at Peoples Bank Park. And it comes on the very next pitch. It's his second with York, a bomb down the line and left. And the Revs lead it 4-2 here in the 7th. What a shot.
Well, that's how you respond to some controversial play at first base. You just come up and smack it over the wall. Marte with a bit of pizzazz on that one, a bit of flair. He knew it was gone the instant, so he watched it for a second, and oh, what a beauty he sent out into the world.
Disappeared deep into the York dusk. I saw Polo at third kick angrily because the Revs thought it should have been a 2-run homer, but they do provide an insurance run on a no-doubt shot. He destroyed it. He hit one in Bridgeport a couple of nights ago, and this one a no-doubter as long as it didn't hook and it stayed straight enough. A visit from Butch. He'll leave Jackson in the game. Barnstormers have lefty Matt Reynolds loosening. Here's Brian Pounds with the smoke still hanging in center, and Jackson misses down low. Revs with their second jack of the night. Josh Wilson clobbered a hanger out to left in the 4th. Pitch to Pounds is fouled back into the netting. Well, the Revs a 3-game lead tonight over both Sugar Land and Lancaster. A big one to start this weekend, now up 4-2. Michael Click is loosening for York, by the way. And the 0-1 to Pounds, a slider, that's down low. He's 0 for 2 tonight, but in the second inning, worked a leadoff walk, which started a 2-run inning. He scored the first one. Jackson deals, and a line drive smashed to center. Pounds with a BB for a hit. Witherspoon practically had to go to a knee to make sure it didn't get past him. It was hit so hard. And Brian Pounds absolutely tore the cover off that one. A low liner that made Jackson duck.
And he's going to duck out of this game here. Here's Butch again.
Oh, a single following the home run. The Revs with the right-hand heavy lineup, but they're going to go with Matt Reynolds, the lefty, anyway. A pitching change brought to you by Maple Donuts here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Revs were awfully upset after that call on Nash, but Marte on the very next pitch absolutely unloading. An insurance run put up, whether it should have been more, at least add to the lead, 4-2. And here's Reynolds who comes in. Lancaster, by the way, just the other day lost Logan Schaefer, who was signed by the Twins.
Well, that's no surprise there. I mean, Schaefer was still in the prime of his career, putting up some really good numbers for the Barnstormers, and they gobbled him up awfully quickly. Not as quick as Phil Koch got signed by the Yankees, but with great haste. Now Matt Reynolds making his 17th appearance for the Barnstormers. 1-0, 1.84 ERA. Just 3 earned runs in 14 2/3 innings, coming off of a scoreless frame with a couple of strikeouts against Sugar Land on Wednesday night. The former major leaguer, mostly with the Colorado Rockies, out of the bullpen. They had a very good half season with the Diamondbacks back in 2013. A 1.98 ERA in 30 appearances.
As he finishes his warm-ups, we'll pause for station identification. This is Revolution Radio.
First in York, first in sports. Your only local sports station. The new Sports Radio 1350, WOYK, York, Pennsylvania.
Now, Michael Rocket will be the first to face Reynolds with 1 on and 1 out. Revs a 4-2 lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Our York Mitsubishi out-of-town scoreboard, Sugarland's up 2-1 at Long Island in the bottom of the 8th. There's the stretch, first pitch to Rocket, and that's up high. Other games, Southern Maryland a 4-3 lead at New Britain in the 8th inning. And Somerset hosting Bridgeport. Patriots lead the Bluefish 2-0 in the 7th. Pitch to Rocket is swung on and missed. A changeup from Reynolds. It's got a 9-outing scoreless streak going, covering 8 innings of work. The 6'5 lefty sets and he'll make a move over to first, pounds back standing. Somerset winning their game, Long Island losing theirs. Patriots came in today having retaken first by half a game in the Liberty Division. Long Island's dropped 3 straight. Pitch to Rocket is up high. And the count now 2-1. Well, the Revs up 3 over Sugarland, who's also winning, and Lancaster, who the Revs are playing and leading at the moment. Now Reynolds a step off.
Barnstormers have done a nice job of getting back into this race here. York trying to send him right back down.
Here's a swing and a miss, a slider. 2-2. Four to 2 the lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And Reynolds quickly comes back home and a swing and a miss. He got Rocket on the slider. 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th. Tanner Peters, the starter tonight, had 8 strikeouts through 5. It's the Revs' 9th K as an offense. Here's Josh Wilson, who's had a good night. 2 for 3 with a solo homer in the 4th, his 4th. 2 runs scored. First offering, a swing and a foul tip behind home plate. Revs out hitting the Barnstormers 10-9. It's 4 runs, 10 hits, no errors for York. 2, 9, and 1 on the line score for Lancaster. Reynolds stretches, lifts the leg, and throws over to first, keeping tabs on Pounds. The Revs with a pair of steals tonight. Marte and Tejeda. First game this year with 2. There's a foul tip back into the screen, and it's 0-2 on Wilson. Michael Click getting ready for the 8th inning. Revs do have options. DePaula not quite ready yet. 0-2, and that just missed outside. A good eye from Wilson. If the Revs can win, it'd be another comeback victory. Lancaster scored the first run in the 2nd. York answered with 2. And added 1 in the 4th. Lancaster inched back with 1 in the 5th. Revs get that one back here in the 7th. 1-2. Swing and a miss. A slider down. It's smothered by Patterson, who will step out and lob the throw to first. And Reynolds very effective with that slider. A pair of strikeouts to end the inning. But the Revs add to the lead on Alfredo Marte's first home run. His 2nd with York. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 left. We go to the 8th. It's York 4, Lancaster 2.
The more we help the ones in need, the more progress our community will make.
By focusing on quality education, income opportunities, and basic health care,
all of York County can have access to the building blocks of a good quality of life.
Together we can load the bases for our community.
And hit a home run.
Give generously to the 2016 United Way Community Fund.
Find out more and give now at unitedway-york.org.
Does your wealth advisor know how you take your coffee? At Smith, Mayer & Little Wealth Advisory Group, we genuinely get to know our clients, from their interests, goals, and dreams, right down to how they like their coffee. By understanding our clients on a personal level, we help them make wise financial decisions. In us, you will find a trusted confidant dedicated to your financial success. Smith, Mayer & Little, a wealth of knowledge about wealth. Get to know us over a cup of coffee or visit us at financialjava.com.
Janney Montgomery Scott LLC, member NYSE, FINRA, and SIPC.
Come and celebrate 10 years of York Revolution baseball with the Celebrate York Series presented by Memorial Hospital. The series honors significant contributions from York, Pennsylvania's most notable events and favorite citizens with giveaways every Friday night home game.
The series continues on Friday, June 17th with a Bruce Arians Gnome giveaway.
Visit YorkRevolution.com for more details. It's the Celebrate York Series, proudly presented by Memorial Hospital for the York Revolution's 10th anniversary season.
Your teams all the time. York's only place for local sports. Sports Radio 1350 WOIK.
Head to the 8th. Revs did have click up, but it'll be Mariel Checo who comes on. Pitching change brought to you by Maple Donuts. 4-2 is the lead. Checo in the 8th inning spot tonight. He came in to finish the 9th for DePaula 2 nights ago when he had felt that tightness. And Checo, his first save with York, gave up one inherited run, but got all 3 outs, the final 3 outs. And the 5th save of his career. The other 4 came with the Gulf Coast League Yankees in his 3rd pro season in 2011. We'll face Josh Bell, the switch hitter leading off the 8th. 1 for 3 tonight, and he swings first pitch and tips a foul into the net. Pitching change brought to you by Maple Donuts. 3rd reliever used. Scudder's the 6th, Gomez the 7th, and now Checo here in the 8th. Pitch is just outside for a ball.
Darryl, I'm getting a bit of news coming across from Reuters here. Sources saying Muhammad Ali, the boxing great, is close to death in a hospital.
Oh man, there's some late movement on a fastball. Tejeda had a glance off his glove and it drilled the plate on Dave Snyder.
Ali went to the hospital with respiratory issues earlier this week, and a source saying it could be a matter of hours for the greatest. 74 years old.
Sad news indeed. Chong will come out and check on Snyder, who's motioning to his right knee where that pitch ended up hitting him. I think Tejeda did get a little glove on it, but Checo throws so hard, that late movement just got away from him. That was a 4-2 lead here in the 8th. Checo in his 13th game, 2-0 with a 120 earned run average. The wind and the 2-1 and a swing and a miss. Blew a fastball by him. 15 innings, just 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned. And getting another late game spot. On the wind and the 2-2 just missed low, and Bell had started to move the bat but held off. A full count. Halton and McDade do here. It's 5, 6, and 7 for them. Payoff pitch, down and in. And a leadoff walk to begin the 8th. That is not what Checo wanted to do. Now Halton coming up as the tying run. Halton 0 for 1 with 2 walks and a stolen base tonight. 4-2 is the lead that Checo and company are trying to protect. Now the stretch from Checo. And the first offering. Fastball missed high. If you're wondering, Halton certainly has the power to tie it on one swing. 4 homers in 16 games. And Fletch now is going to call time and come out and talk with Checo as the Revs get some bullpen activity. Our York Mitsubishi out-of-town scoreboard. They've gone to the 9th at Long Island. Sugar Land leading 2-1. New Britain has tied Southern Maryland 4-4. That game has gone to the 9th in Connecticut. And Somerset adding a run. They now lead Bridgeport 3-0 in the 8th. Hershey Bears in game 2, now trailing Lake Erie 4-1 with 13 minutes to go after losing 4-1 in game 1. Now after the visit, Checo ready. Here's the 1-0 to Halton, and he swings and pops a foul back. For you Bears fans, don't forget 2010 they lost the first 2 at home to Texas and then won the next 4. It appears that they may be in that position again, heading to Cleveland on Monday night. Checo the stretch, and the 1-1 slider bent just outside. And that one didn't miss by much. Checo got the final out Wednesday night with the tying 2 runners, both in scoring position. It was a deep sigh of relief for everybody. On the 2-1 and a slider, he left it high. And he walked Bell to start the 8th, now behind on Halton 3-1. Mike McDade on deck. Checo trying to find the zone. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Halton was trying to tie it right there. Came up empty. Checo had thrown 5 of his previous 6 pitches for balls. Now a full count.
Halton knew he needed to throw a strike right there and took a big boy swing.
And now he'll ask for time as Checo was coming into his stretch. Set. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Fastball away. And Checo comes back from 3-1 to get him swinging. 1 down in the 8th. We'll bring up Mike McDade. Tonight 1 for 3 with an infield hit, which upped his hitting streak to 11. 1 on with 1 out. 4-2 York. And Checo into his stretch. Here's the kick. First pitch, a swing and a pop-up. Will they have a chance to hit it toward the third base dugout? And it's just out of his reach. He stopped at the top step, and it landed maybe 1 step in and careened back out. It's one of the things that doesn't get talked about very much in minor league ballparks that works in the hitter's favor. There's a lot less foul territory than a lot of the major league parks, so fewer plays made over near the dugouts. McDade still with life. 0-1. And Checo delivers, and a swing and another foul to the left of home plate. And he will work ahead of a hitter for the first time tonight. 0-2.
Lancaster looking like it'll send Scott Gracie to the hill in the bottom of the 8th inning, just as formidable a foe as Matt Reynolds. He's got a .6 ERA.
Checo has his sign. Here's the 0-2, and a fastball missed high. Lancaster's strength has been their hitting recently, and their bullpen pretty consistently. It's the rotation that they've been trying to patch together. Checo with the sign. The 1-2. Fastball just missed away. Not been a very big zone tonight. Well, actually, there were some earlier in the game that were pretty favorable for the pitchers away.
All we ask is consistency.
That is all. Now the 2-2. Swing and a line drive hit in right center. Marte chasing it. It's going to roll all the way to the fence. Being sent is Bell around third. And the relay coming home late. It's 4-3. Mike McDade stands at second with an RBI double. And you hate to see the zone shrink late in the game. Checo had a good one that he didn't get. And McDade a big double on the very next pitch. A one-run game and the tying run at second base.
At what point, Darryl, would you think about bringing DeMarc in to get more than just 3 outs? He's working on a couple of days rest.
That is a very good question. I don't know. It's Chase Patterson who came in when Cutler left with an injury, and Checo with a slider that he gets squeezed on away. Revs fans getting more and more agitated with what feels like a shrinking strike zone. Patterson a fly out, his first at bat. Here's the 1-0, and there's a slider for a strike. Bronx cheer.
Patterson awfully green. He's just 22 years old, from 8 Mile, Alabama. A few more than 8 miles south of where Eminem spent his 8 Mile days.
The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Fastball right past him. Patterson hitting at 235 at the moment. Cutler is back up. Cutler fell down on that swing back in the 4th inning. That was the 1-2. Strike 3 called, a fastball down in the zone. Patterson looks back and takes up a beef with it. But Checo with the K, that's out number 2. And Mace coming out to the mound. Zawadzki, the lefty.
Yep, that's at the knees.
Sure is. Zawadzki coming up. And is this our answer to the DeMarc question?
Looks like it.
It is. Mike DeMarc coming in will go for a 4-out save. And he is rested. It has been since Tuesday night when he nailed down the epic comeback with one of the fastest bottom of the 9s I can remember seeing. And he'll try to get 4 outs this time. Pitching change brought to you by Maple Donuts. As he'll go for his league-leading 14th save. Tying run at second and 2 outs in the 8th inning. And the run scoring on the RBI double by McDade right after Checo was pinched. Frustrating run from the Revs' perspective, but with the lead at 1, DeMarc will try to hold it from here.
Well, Mike DeMarc, almost beyond superlative how effective he has been. 16 outings this year, just a couple of unearned runs against him. 13 saves. He has skyrocketed up the Revs leaderboard all time. Not much experience getting the multi-out saves, though. I'm looking at this. He's only gone more than 1 inning for a save twice this season, and not in the last month. April 24th at New Britain to nail down the Revs' final game in that 4-game opening series to open the season, and then an inning and 2/3 against Sugar Land back here on April 30th, where he got 5 outs there. Ever since, it's been 1 inning almost without section, except for May 29th when he got 2 outs against Somerset. So this will be a test for DeMarc. As effective as he's been, he's going to put it all on the line here. And Mace going with his trusted arm, as trustworthy as anybody that I'm sure he has had his entire career as a Revs manager.
Lance Zawadski is who he'll face. Tying run at second. Here's the first pitch, and a foul back to the net. Zawadski, a ground out, a fly out, and a ground out in that order tonight. McDade at second. 4-3 York here with 2 outs in the 8th inning. DeMarc looks in, the high stretch of the arms. Here's the 0-1, and it misses up high. Fastball at 91. They will have to face the top of the order once more. Zawadski rounding out their order tonight. Now ready with it. A 1-1 pitch, and a swing and a miss, sinking down. And Zawadski nearly came out of his shoes, 1-2. It's an oblique injury that cost him their first 36 games this season. DeMarc set. The 1-2, swing and a miss, he struck him out. Fastball got him to end the inning. He combines with Checo to strike out the side. DeMarc comes in on a mission and strikes out Zawadski to leave the tying run at second. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 left. Revs still lead it. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 4-3 York.
Wednesdays are the worst. I've got to get the kids to school on time, to get to work, then it's just one long day of meetings. But hey, at least I don't have to worry about making dinner.
Kids eat free with People's Bank. Save money at every Wednesday home game.
So now when the Revs are in town, I just pull into a People's Bank, pick up that week's coupon, and dinner is done. Revolution Wednesdays? Awesome. Revolution!
Thanks to People's Bank, kids eat free at every Wednesday home game. No need to be a People's Bank customer. Just pick up your coupon at any People's Bank branch and do dinner at People's Bank Park. 1 coupon per child per game.
Payne doesn't take Sunday off. Neither do we. We're open weekdays 8 to 8 and weekends 9 to 6. Just walk into WellSpan Urgent Orthopedics, 2319 South George Street in York, across from the Apple Hill Health Campus. Visit wellspan.org/urgent orthopedics today.
Struggling to find quality IT help for your business? Tired of being sold solutions from companies helping their bottom line more than yours? Sick of your calls being answered overseas? SoCo Business Solutions is your answer to maintain your current environment, redesign your infrastructure, provide local responsive support, and keep your data safe. Contact SoCo at 717-505-8080 and let us be your IT solutions provider. That's 717-505-8080 or online at SoCoBusinessSolutions.com.
The Revolution plays here. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Bottom of the 8th, Revs with a 4-3 lead. Mike DeMarc coming in to fan Zawadski. and end the top half. Reynolds stays in. James Simmons leads off and looks at a strike from the tall lefty. Simmons, Repko, and Tejeda here in the bottom of the 8th with York up 4-3. Simmons 0 for 3 tonight. Here's the pitch to him, and a changeup just missed away. Lancaster in the 9th will have the top of their order due up. 1-1, and a swing and a miss. Fastball there, and a good cut at it. Tomorrow night, Revs with Micah Owings starting. Austin Bibbins-Dirks for Lancaster. Sunday, James Simmons against Mike Lee. Pitch to this James is down and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Each team now with 10 hits tonight. Revs clinging to the 1-run lead. 2-2, and a drive hit high and deep in right center field and gone! James Simmons, opposite field. He parks one onto the lawn in right center, his 3rd of the year. And the Revs get that run right back. 5-3 York here in the bottom of the 8th.
And to do so against Reynolds would have been so effective. Just the 2nd home run he's given up this year. Revs stealing one in a big way. They didn't just sneak in and grab a hold of that one. They blasted through the door and said, "Give me that run."
Here's Repko at the top, and he takes a strike. Look at that puff cloud in right field, thanks to Cannonball. Gunsmoke Chuck. Pitch to Repko is smoked foul into the seats in left. Simmons, 3rd of the year. What a shot. Sat back, went oppo. And a little excited toss of the bat. He knew he got it. Pitch to Repko, a swing and a miss, a changeup down and away. And Reynolds has struck out 3 of the 4 that he's faced, but that 4th one being Simmons, who took him deep. Rev's 3rd solo shot tonight.
Here comes Butch again.
So I guess he'll go to Gracie now if he's still up. Pitching change brought to you by Maple Donuts. Unless I crossed out Reynolds too soon. He hasn't made the move yet, and now he will. We've got a bachelor party up in the end suite in left field that's got the chants going tonight. They were chanting Butch, Butch.
It's like they were chanting Mike, Mike in that top of the 8th inning.
Revs now with 48 home runs this year, with 3 more tonight. Here at home, they've hit 31 in 22 games. Whew. It's just silly. And it is the long-locked Scott Gracie who comes in. Pitching change brought to you by Maple Donuts. Actually, they went with Pete Andrelzik.
Oh, yeah.
They did sit Gracie down. Gracie had the long hair last year, and he did away with it this year.
I was going to say, he grew that awfully quickly again.
Yeah, right.
And said they'll bring on the hometown kid, Pete Andrelzik, who grew up within walking distance of Clipper Magazine Stadium, went to Manheim Township High School.
Yeah, Gracie would need to be like a chia pet to have his hair that long that soon. But last year he was rivaling Andrelzik for the biggest flow on the team.
Gotta love that flow, man.
Now, you used to rock that look.
You might very well think that. I couldn't possibly comment.
Different era?
Much different.
Now the Revs a 5-3 lead. Isaiah Tejeda will be the First to face Andrelzik with one down. Tejeda having himself another 3-hit night. 3 for 4 with a double and a ribby and a steal as he takes Andrelzik's first pitch for a strike. Tejeda backs out to regather his thoughts. Now the pitch to him and a slider over for a strike. Had 11 multi-hit games in May, 5 3-hit games, and now he's got another 3-hit game, his first of June, 6th of the year. Pitch, swing and a miss. Andrelzik got him to chase a slider in the dirt. Tag applied. 2 down. His 12th strikeout from Lancaster pitchers tonight. But the Revs working with a 5-3 lead, and with 2 down, Andres Perez to the plate. He's 1 for 3. Infield hit and a walk. DeMarc now a 2-run lead for the 9th. Pitch to Dre is up and in. Bounced out of Patterson's glove. Andrelzik very fidgety out there, very quick movements. Deals and a slider, curls in for a strike. Gets a lot of walking in too, up and down the front of the mound.
Like he's got something in his hair that's bothering him.
There's a half swing and a foul tip that Patterson hung on to, 1-2. Reminds you of Bo. Always moving. Oh, time was called. Andrelzik didn't see that, and he babied one into home plate. Fortunately, when he saw time called and David Snyder running away, he didn't let it slip to where it could have been dangerous. And now officially the 1-2, and it bounces right past Patterson and up against the netting. Andrelzik, the 2-2, swing and a miss. Got him to reach for the slider. And after the homer, Reynolds 1K, Andrelzik with 2. But it is the homer from James Simmons that provides insurance. Solo shot, his 3rd of the year, and we're going to the 9th. It's the Revs 5 and the Barnstormers 3.
Kids today, with Facebook, texting, TV, and video games, seems like fresh air and sunshine are things of the past. Remember playing catch, climbing trees, wholesome backyard fun? Heritage Lawn and Landscape Care remembers, give them lush grass, healthy trees, the good old outdoors. American is baseball and apple pie. Kids have every reason to stay inside. Don't let your lawn be one of them. Heritage Lawn and Landscape Care, world-class care right in your backyard. 717-292-9994.
Money and business are essential to the strength of a community. So is cheering and celebration and music and fun. That's why York Revolution games, concerts, youth sports, special events, and more happen at a place called People's Bank Park. People's Bank has been serving York County for more than 150 years. Always cheering, always celebrating, always committed to the things that make York County great. And to you having a great time at People's Bank Park. People's Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
What if I told you your family of 4 could have an all-inclusive outing for only $55? The York Revolution are telling you that right now. The Family Fun Pack includes 4 flexible ticket vouchers to be used whenever you'd like, 4 food vouchers for hot dogs, chips, and drinks, 2 playground wristbands, and a parking pass. Again, $55. Have more than 4 in your family? Additional tickets and food vouchers are only $10. Buy online at YorkRevolution.com, over the phone at 801-HITS, or in person at the Apple Chevrolet ticket office.
Your home for Revolution Baseball. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Top of the 9th, and Mike DeMarc looking for the 4-out save after the huge K to end the 8th. James Simmons then providing insurance, top of the ninth. And his first pitch is swung on, grounded to second base. It took a hop up off of Michael Rocket into shallow right, and the leadoff man is on. Casey Hobson, Butch's son, pinch hitting for Travis Witherspoon, and he's on the air to begin things. He hit it sharply, first pitch, and Rocket tried to get down almost to a knee in front of it, but hit off the heel of his glove. Took a little skip that he wasn't expecting. Here's Kevin Aarons. And to mark the pitch, a fastball over at the knees for a strike. Casey Hobson released by the Blue Jays last week from Double-A New Hampshire, so it was his first at bat with Lancaster. The pitch from DeMarc, a swing and a pop-up, and Rocket will get another chance. A low pop-up and an easy grab for him. One away here in the top of the ninth. Caleb Gindel, the three-hole hitter, up next. Gindel 1 for 4, singled and scored in the fifth. Revs up 5-3. First pitch to the left-hand hitter, and he fouls it back into the net. Strike one. This inning is sponsored by WOYK here at Peoples Bank Park. It's on the LED boards. I see the Herd's smiling face. Here's the 0-1. Fastball right there for strike two. That one in the glove at 90. And DeMarc jumps ahead. Double play would end it. He's ready. The 0-2. And in the dirt. What a stop by Tejeda to keep the double play in order. That thing bounced in front of home plate. And that thing, that had a long bounce before it got to his chest protector. Could have gone in any direction. One ball, two strikes. And DeMarc ready. He kicks, fires, missed, high and away, 2-2. Hobson is on the first air of the night from the Revs with one out. Here's the 2-2, and that's down and away. DeMarc got ahead, but trying to finish him, he falls back to a full count. Josh Whitaker, who's had a big night, is on deck. Now looks in and set, and the payoff pitch. Swinging a ground ball toward the middle and through into right center. Hobson will stop at second. Gindel's on base. It's a hit. And Rocket had him played to pull toward first. And Gindel rolls it where Rocket may have been otherwise. A seeing eye base hit. Now the tying run is on. And Josh Whitaker to the plate, who's 3 for 4. Homer in the second, infield hit in the fourth, RBI double in the fifth. And then it was Gomez who struck him out in the seventh inning. Revs a 5-3 lead. Lancaster, though, with a threat. And DeMarc with the pitch. Fastball, it's just a hair high. Now a nod yes. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss, a slider. Whitaker was geared up, and it wasn't there yet. 1-1. Good tight break on that. Now DeMarc with the pitch. Fastball Did not get the call. It looked like it was right over the plate. I guess they called it a smidge low. And it's 2-1. 2 on with 1 out. Tying run is the runner at first. DeMark the pitch. Swing and a foul back off the top portion of the netting. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Final from Long Island, Sugarland 1, 3-1 on our York Mitsubishi out-of-town scoreboard. DeMark ready. The 2-2. Swing and a miss! He struck him out in the dirt, and Tejeda blocks it. 2 down here in the top of the 9th. It'll be DeMark against Josh Bell trying to finish this one. Got Whitaker to chase in the dirt. Big strikeout. The Revs bullpen has been full of those tonight. And now it's Bell, the switch hitter who bats left. 1 for 3, plus a walk and a run. First pitch, he swings, fouls it back onto the roof. That fastball at 93, DeMark's hardest of the night. No balls, 1 strike. Now ready again. And the pitch. And a fastball right in there. Strike 2 called. A strike away from finishing it. As the Revs try to take the first War of the Roses game in York this year. Fans come to their feet, the stretch, the 0-2, down in the dirt and blocked to the right by Tejeda, no advancement. And those blocks now, as big as they've been all night with 2 runners on base in a 2-run game. One and 2. And DeMark back on the hill. He stares, he nods yes. The stretch. 1-2 pitch, a swing and a fly ball. Left field, Repko's got it lined up. Catch is made, and the ball game's over. The Revs return home and kick off the homestand. A 5-3 win over the Barnstormers here tonight. First War of the Roses game at Peoples Bank Park this season. And it's won by the Revs. Mike DeMark, a 4-out save. Outstanding stuff out of the Revs bullpen. And Frank Gailey picks up the win in his first start. The Revs with 3 home runs offensively to do the job tonight. And what a job by the bullpen. These games against Lancaster are always high stakes, high stress in the late innings. And the bullpen, an outstanding job tonight. Will DeBoer's got Jason Repko. Let's go to the field.
All right, there we got Jason Repko making his return to action. President Snow with that RBI single in the second. Jason, what were you looking for? What did you get?
I was just looking for something up in the zone. Battled quite a few pitches that at bat. Really was just looking for something I could handle. Hopefully, get it to the outfield somewhere and move the guys around. And luckily, change up and away. Didn't hit it quite hard, but it found a hole, and that's all it takes.
I know you've been chomping at the bit to get back onto the field here for game action there. How did it feel to come in and immediately make an impact for the team?
Oh, it felt great. Anytime you can come back and contribute, do your little part, it feels great.
All right, Jason. Thanks, congrats.
All right, have a good one.
All right, Dell, back to you.
All right, thank you, Will. Jason Repko. Great to get him back tonight. He was in the leadoff spot and drove in the Revs' first run. Back in the second inning, had maybe the at-bat of the night as he fouled off a bunch and got that big hit to get York on the board. The Revs would take the lead when Tejeda singled. He was the next hitter, and they led from there the rest of the night. A 5-3 win. Revs now 2-3 in this year's War of the Roses series, presented by PNC Bank. They maintain their 3-game lead over Sugar Land. They now lead Lancaster by 4 as they win the first game of this series. 26-16 is the record, and 17-5 here at home. These fans have been treated here early on this season. Revs have won 9 of their last 11 overall, and it ends Lancaster's 4-game winning streak. Barnstormers fall to 21-19. For Lancaster in the 9th inning, no runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left. 5-3 is your final. Stay tuned. Post-game show follows next.
Tennis used to be a very polite game. Today, tennis... Ace. Raises a racket. Flying feet. The style, the play, and the players are intense, athletic, and hard-charging. Flying Feet Sports Shoes welcomes the evolution of tennis and its battling players with a full line of specialty tennis shoes worthy of the new game. These aren't stand-around, look-pretty shoes.